my! It's a three-pointer. Carolina wins it. The Tar Heels win it.
The following is a presentation of the Tar Heels Sports Network.
Just 50 hours ago, the Tar Heels were putting the finishing touches on that hard-earned 76-66 victory over Boston College in snowy Chestnut Hill. That marked Carolina's 8th consecutive win on the season. To win their 9th straight game, the Heels will have to weather the quick turnaround and defeat a high-quality Wake Forest team in the only meeting of the regular season between the two longtime Big Four foes. The Tar Heel Sports Network's coverage of the 234th meeting between Wake and Carolina starts right now. 15 on the shot clock, tries to lob to Trimble. He climbs the ladder and throws it down. Cadeau puts his defender in the spin cycle and lays it up and over his head for two. Ingram between the circles to R.J. Davis for three. Knock it home from the right wing. If you need a bucket, who else? Well, I thought he was going to slow it up to Trimble. Back to Baycott. Slow that up, baby. Two-handed dunk. Crossover, step back. That's an impossible shot. How'd he do it? Oh, drives it. Bounce past the Withers. Way up in the air for the flush. One-handed push pass to Baycott. He's going to try a corner. Three. There we go. Davis, long pass to Trimble in the corner. He'll try a triple. Why not? Everybody's knocking him home. Back to Davis. His three at the horn. Count it! Davis swishes it home at the buzzer.
The Tar Heels Sports Network is on the air with Carolina basketball.
This is Dave Nathan. Two of the best teams in the ACC collide tonight in Chapel Hill. It's Carolina and Wake Forest in an Old Tobacco Road showdown. Jones Haynes will have the call of this evening's contest.
Yeah, Dave, quality guard play, big-time shooting, and some good size in the post. Wake Forest will definitely present a stiff challenge for the Tar Heels on a rare Monday night in the Smith Center. Our analyst tonight, Tyler Hansbrough, Carolina's all-time leading scorer, a 2009 national champion, 50, retired in the rafters of the Smith Center.
Thanks, Jones. Tonight, it's all going to be about defense, just like I've been saying. The bigs are going to have to get out on the perimeter, guard, and contest the three-point shooting of Wake Forest, one of the best shooting teams in the league.
We've got all those storylines on the Reed's Jewelers pregame show. Plus, Dave Odom updates us on next year's Maui Invitational. We'll bring you an interview with head coach Hubert Davis and comments from Steve Forbes. Tyler Hansbrough and Adam Lucas answer your questions about the Tar Heels, and we'll check on scores from around the country, too. All of that and more is coming up as we count you down to tip-off between the Tar Heels and Demon Deacons from the Smith Center in Chapel Hill. This is Carolina basketball from Learfield.
This is Carolina basketball on the Tar Heels Sports Network, and you're listening to the Reed's Jewelers pregame show. Carolina basketball is brought to you by Hunt Brothers Pizza, the official pizza of Carolina Athletics. This is the Reed's Jewelers pregame show.
Saturday's win over Boston College has the Tar Heels at 15-3 overall and 7-0 in the ACC. While both teams fought through foul trouble for a good chunk of the game, Carolina's defense clamped down, allowed BC to shoot just 34.5% from the floor. And, Jones, that's marked the 9th time this year the Heels have held their opponents under 40% shooting.
Yeah, that defense has become a constant for Carolina, and it has certainly paid dividends, particularly on the road in ACC play. I mean, I think you can go through all these games since the new year, and Carolina's defense was a big part of those victories. Pitt and Clemson and State, and then Boston College on Saturday afternoon. And, yeah, Tyler, it really came down to that. That was a close game, competitive game, and it was the last, let's say, 4 or 5 minutes. It was the Tar Heels that made the winning plays. They got stops, they got buckets, they made their free throws. Just they were the ones that made the winning plays to take home a road victory.
Absolutely. It wasn't a beauty contest.
No.
I mean, it was a kind of a dogfight, and defensively we did it, and we've talked about it, how important defense is for this team's success. But to go on the road, you can never take that for granted, especially in conference play. And also, no one really stepped up and had a great scoring night. We did it in an ugly way, and we got the win, which is huge.
Mentioned those fouls, Dave, and the free throw line was a big part of that victory. And remember, Carolina did not start very well at the line. They're 4 of their first 8. Even R.J. Davis missed one, which, of course, is a extreme rarity. But after that, the Tar Heels made 17 of their last 18 at the free throw line. And it's been such a big part of their attack this year. They are averaging making more than 19 per game. That's tied for 6th in the nation. Nobody made more free throws in his career in the ACC than Tyler Hansbrough. I mean, it's been a huge part of what Carolina's been able to do, not only getting to the line, but converting.
Absolutely. And also, when you get to the free throw line like that, it means we're attacking and we're going inside. We're not settling for outside jump shots. You are going inside, which is huge. It means there's a lot of ball movement, kicking around, and that's big. And also, if RJ's missing free throws, I think he's the most reliable. I'm so confident with him at the line. I knew it wasn't going to be the best shooting night, but, yeah, this team has continued to shoot well from the free throw line.
Yeah, you look, Dave, nearly 95% for R.J. Davis, even with that miss, the rarity. Cormac Ryan's over 91%. And a big part, and we've talked about it earlier, is Armando Bacot. A guy who's been in the mid-60s at the free throw line for his career, and he's shooting better than 80% this season. So those guys have made a huge difference for Carolina as they've gone to the line and converted so far through the season.
Yeah, both you guys. Oh, go ahead, Tyler.
It's been really huge for Armando. I can see him taking his time at the free throw line.
Yeah.
And also, a lot of people think that you have to shoot the outside three ball to really have a big scoring night. No, sometimes it can be taking the easiest shot, making your free throws, and really simplifying the game.
Yeah, both you guys mentioned R.J. Davis a moment ago. He's made multiple three-pointers in 15 consecutive games. No Tar Heels had a run of success like that since Justin Jackson in 2016, 2017, and it just feels like every game that we have next up on the schedule, R.J. Davis does something that hasn't been done either before or in a long time.
Well, he's just a really mature player at this point. And RJ's always been a very good player, but he has taken a step forward this season for sure. And I think that is in all areas, whether that's leadership, both in the way that he's handling himself, the way that he's speaking with the team, having a louder voice as far as that angle, and obviously his play. And you saw it, Tyler, we were talking about the BC game. Down the stretch, again, it was a 4 or 6 point game, something like that, and Carolina did a whole lot of R.J. Davis and Armando Bacot in the high pick and roll down those last couple of minutes because Hubert Davis very clearly trusts R.J. with the ball in his hands.
Absolutely, and it's been really fun watching his game progress and watching him improve as a player. And you got to give Coach Davis credit, too. He's using him really well this year. And also, I think the addition of Cadeau and running him having, being able to play point guard, not having RJ bring it up, I think that's opening up a lot of things for RJ. Put him in that shooting guard position, and he has his confidence up. And also, I would say he's the lead candidate for ACC Player of the Year right now. And also, if I had to pick one guy to get a bucket in all college basketball, RJ would be at the top of the list right now.
Yeah, Dave, he has the capability of making those really high degree of difficulty shots, but he doesn't have to take them as much this year. You haven't seen – think about – and I know last year, this year, different years, but think about how many times Carolina these last season or two had to take difficult shots near the end of the shot clock. And, Caleb Love and R.J. Davis, they are capable of doing that. But it's been so much better this year that Carolina has run cleaner offense. They've gotten better looks, I think, more consistently. And I don't think that's a big coincidence of why RJ is shooting as well as he's ever shot in his college career.
R.J. Davis and the rest of the Tar Heels welcome Wake Forest to town, arguably as good a team as Carolina's faced in the ACC this year. We'll discuss the Demon Deacons upon our return from Learfield. Tar Heel fans, Food Line is the proud sponsor of the Score to Give More program. For each free throw the Tar Heels make in tonight's game, Food Line Feeds will donate 100 meals to feed our neighbors in need right here in the Triangle. Well, let's talk about the Demon Deacons. Wake Forest off to a 13-5 start, 5-2 in the ACC, tied for second place in the standings behind Carolina with NC State and FSU. The Deacs are coming off a thorough thumping of Louisville on Saturday. The final score 90-65. And fellas, I thought it was interesting after the game, Steve Forbes, who's had a couple of teams on the NCAA bubble, discussed how important margin of victory was for the sake of all the data and metrics that go into Selection Sunday.
Well, they certainly piled it on in that regard against Louisville. And when you make 18 three-pointers, that helps. And so, I mean, the 18 made threes in that game, the second most in Wake Forest history. It's the most by any ACC team this year. And, Tyler, that's not the only key tonight, but it is a key tonight, as Wake really shoots the ball well from out there. They're nearly 40% as a team from the three-point arc. And it's not just one guy. They have several players. Boopy Miller can read at 7 feet, has even hit a couple threes this year. Hunter Salas, of course, the Gonzaga transfer, is a great scorer and shooter. And they've added Damari Monsanto back into the mix, somebody who's played a lot for them. He was recovering from a late-season injury from last year, played against Louisville for the first time, is expected to still be on a little bit of a minute count here, maybe 10, 11, 12 minutes, something like that tonight for him. But yeah, I just named off 5 or 6 guys that are capable of stepping out there and hitting shots, and that'll be a big key tonight for the Heels.
Definitely, and I think it's going to be a really good test, especially for Armando, to get out on the perimeter and contest. He's going to be challenged. He's going to have to guard a lot of people that are going to do some things out on the perimeter to be able to contest. And also, your defensive rotations for a big man, once you are on the perimeter, is something a lot of people don't talk about. You've got to be in tune with that. And so I think it's going to be a really good challenge for the bigs especially.
2 things, Dave, to that point. Baycott has done a really good job, I think, this year when he's been switched onto guards out on any kind of action out top. In fact, had a chance to talk to Cormac Ryan at length last week, and he was really singing Armando's praises for how he's been able to handle those situations. Saw it a couple of times on display against Boston College where he got switched onto a smaller player, forced them into a difficult shot. And we've seen Carolina have trouble fouling three-point shooters at times this year. Can't do that in this game. Wake is the second best free throw shooting team in the country. They shoot better than 80% as a team. And so, Tyler, you cannot foul a three-point shooter if you're Carolina.
No, defensive discipline is huge, and you can never foul somebody shooting. So you want to contest them. It's a low percentage shot as it is. But also, the one thing that I think is huge, and a lot of people don't talk about it, is when a team does go small and the bigs have to guard on one end on the perimeter, there's also a mismatch on the other end as well. And Armando does his thing down low. And so I'm really excited, and I'm looking forward to seeing how Armando, does offensively and what he does with a mismatch.
Back to Monsanto quickly. He had floor action for the first time all year against Louisville. Redshirt seniors fought injuries, it feels like, almost since he became a college basketball player, but he didn't waste any time getting back into his rhythm. He had 12 points, 3 rebounds, and 10 minutes of play.
Yeah, just a second ago, Carolina had left the court to go back into the locker room. Brady and Jack Hoots, Eric Hoots, his 2 sons are the ball boys. They were out shooting. One of the balls got away from him, rolled out to about midcourt. Monsanto picked it up, fired up a 3, and it was nothing but net from just a step or 2 inside the midcourt stripe. He's an excellent shooter. I feel like you mentioned all the injuries, Dave. I feel like multiple times in his career he's been hurt and then been able to come back just in time to play Carolina, and we're seeing it again this year. And 4 of 6 in 11 minutes. All those shots were from 3 against Louisville the other day. He's a big-time shooter. He has been his whole career. Again, I think he's going to be on a bit of a minute count tonight since it's his first action, and they're just like the Tar Heels are going Saturday to Monday. But Tyler, somebody the Heels have to be aware of for sure.
Yeah, he's a focal point, and I hope he's on a minute restriction. Yeah, but if he gets hot and he gets it going, it's going to be tough for a coach to pull him out, especially to give him such a big lift. I mean, this is a big game for Wake, so it's going to be a great challenge.
Yeah, it's a good point. It is a big game for Wake. They need a good win, Dave. I mean, Wake has had a really good year. But you look, and whatever you count for these, bracketology and the bracket matrices and all those this time of year, Wake's kind of right there on the bubble. And so that they have had a good season. I think they are a really good team, but they do need some quality wins to please the net, which everybody's trying to do. So this is a big one for them in that regard for sure, to go on the road and try to pick up a really high-quality win.
Carolina and Wake, the main event coming up just after 7 o'clock. Coming up after the timeout, Tyler Hansbrough is going to stick around. Adam Lucas will join us. They'll tackle your Carolina Q&A. And Jones talks to Coach Davis in the Continental Tire Coach's Corner. That's all when we come back to the Reed's Jewelers pregame show from Learfield. Tonight's pregame show is brought to you by Reed's Jewelers. The official Reed's Jewelers tip-off time is 7:01. Reed's Jewelers, your home for fine Swiss timepieces, beautiful diamonds, and the world's most luxurious jewelry brands. That's Reed's Jewelers, trusted with life's moments. Visit your local Reed's Jewelers or Reeds.com. Let's get to some of your Carolina questions. Tyler Hansbrough is still with us. And, Tyler, this first one comes from Ryan Smith, who wants to know, after your experience of doing a game with us here on the network, what are some of the easier and harder parts of the job that you might not have expected?
Well, I've only done one game, but Jones makes it easy. I enjoy being in the arena, back in the Smith Center, and, breaking down the game. But I would say the hardest part is probably finding parking. And, getting here in the walkover, it was pretty cold that night, so that was pretty difficult.
Tyler, you don't just go with the parking strategy of rolling down the window and be like, "What's up? I'm Tyler."
It doesn't work anymore. I walked over almost from the business school, but
Boy, if it can happen to Tyler Hansbrough, it can happen to anybody, as we hope everybody else is getting into the Smith Center safely here for tonight's game between Carolina and Wake Forest. All right, Adam Lucas, better parking for you, I'm guessing. People know who you are. Robert Sanchez wants to know how Carolina's done historically in these short Saturday, Monday turnaround games.
One thing I know for sure, Dave, is you just lost your parking spot. The Tar Heels have been pretty good under Hubert Davis in these Saturday, Mondays. The Heels are actually 8-2 under Coach Davis in these types of situations. I think he does a pretty good job preparing them, not just for the front half, but also the back half. As we've talked about before, Tyler, I don't know what you think. I think when the back half is on the road, that's when these are tougher.
I would say for sure, and especially the season could get long. But I was just saying earlier, this team and the way they've played on the road has been, it's such an improvement to what we saw from the previous couple years. I mean, they started out, they pretty much played almost all road games. And they've done their job, and they've also won games when it hasn't been pretty, and we haven't had to rely on outside shooting or scoring. We've done it defensively. It's this team going on the road and winning, and also we're a more older team. We have a lot of vets with a lot of experience, and I think that's a big part of why we've been able to win on the road.
All right. By the way, Adam, the only thing I can think about when it comes to my parking here is when I arrive 2.5, 3 hours before the game. Eerily reminiscent to Clark Griswold rolling up to Wally World. First one there, first one to leave.
I respect that, Dave. That's because you're a hard worker.
All righty. That's Adam Lucas and Tyler Hansbrough down on the floor of the Smith Center. Dave Nathan here in the Tar Heel Sports Network studio. And Jones is standing by with Coach Davis inside the Continental Tire Coach's Corner. Brought to you by who else? Continental Tire, the smart choice in tires, and for a dealer near you, just go to ContinentalTire.com.
I'm inside the Continental Tire Coach's Corner along with the head coach of the Tar Heels, Hubert Davis. And, Coach, back on Saturday, another really gutty road win for your team against BC, and it was one where the Heels really flexed their depth muscles. 11 guys didn't just play, but they contributed in that victory.
Yeah, it's one of the things that for this year's team is, and I talk to them all the time that, I can't promise you when your number is going to be called, when, where, how, and the manner in which it's going to be called, but your job and responsibility is to be ready when it's called. And your guys have been great at that this year. When their number is called, they're ready to go and being able to make an impact out there on the floor. James got extended minutes. He was huge for us on both ends of the floor. Jay Wash, Jay Witt just continues to get better every game. Seth, amazing on both ends of the floor. And so being able to have that depth and the level of play stay the same when we go to the bench has been a huge benefit for us this season.
I was going to ask you about James Okonkwo. It's his most extensive minutes of the year. What have you seen from James as he's acclimated himself to Carolina, which gave you the confidence in putting him in some important minutes?
When you transfer, it's a huge transition. It doesn't come easy. And so it's just new surroundings, new coach, new teammates, terminology, new place that you're living, and having to do that as an 18, 19-year-old kid, it takes time to be able to adjust. And for James, he joined us late in the summer, and so but he's just such a joy to coach. Every day he continues to work hard and get better. I just feel like he's improving. And against Boston College, and Quentin Post is pretty good. We needed as much manpower at that position as possible, and he stepped up and played really well for us.
Coach, you've spoken about the importance of defending, but defending without fouling, and it feels like that could be really important tonight. Wake's the second best free throw shooting team in the country.
Yeah, we get to the free throw line a lot more than they do, but when they get to the free throw line, they make them, and so that's just going to be huge for us. And they put a lot of pressure on you to defend without fouling. They've got guards that are not only can attack the basket, but they're very physical, and it puts a lot of strain on you defensively to be able to guard without fouling. And they've got bigs and Reed and Carr that can finish around the basket as well. So that's going to be a huge part for us, defending them and not putting them on at the free throw line.
They're very good, very balanced offensively. What are some of the challenges defensively for you guys against Wake this evening?
Well, they've got some really dynamic athletic guards that can just create offense anytime that they want to. They got some guys that can go get some buckets. And so being able out of ball screens, one-on-one situations, we just got to keep them out of the lane, defend them without fouling. They can score consistently down low in the paint. Efton Reed is an experienced player that can score down low on the block. And when he gets great position, and then, they've got some, spot-up shooters that are just, you leave them open, you just automatically think it's going in. And so they're naturally have that spacing out there on the floor offensively. And so it's going to be a test for us defensively, but I like the way over the last month and a half that we've been playing defense, and we're excited about the challenge tonight.
Hard to single out one guy because they have a lot of players who do a lot of things, but Boopy Miller just seems like he's in the middle of everything that they're doing. What are some challenges in trying to slow him down?
He is, he's just as quick with the ball as, without it. And, when he gets into the lane, he just does really good things for his team, whether, he can draw fouls. He's a really good mid-range scorer, shooter, but he also looks to distribute, leads the team in assists. And so when you have those shooters and the bigs around the basket, it puts a stretch on you defensively. So, one of the things that we always talk about is protecting the paint, and that's something that we'll have to do again tonight.
It's an old school Big Four rivalry tonight in the Smith Center, Carolina and Wake Forest. Coach, as always, thank you for your time and best of luck.
Thanks, Jones. I appreciate it.
Two good teams going at it in the Smith Center tonight. Excited to be with you courtside alongside Carolina's all-time leading scorer, Tyler Hansbrough. My name's Jones Angel, fired up for Wake and Carolina on a Monday night in Chapel Hill. Let's get to the starting lineups presented by Coors Light. Coors Light, made to chill, an official beer of the Tar Heels. We'll start with the visitors, Wake Forest. They come in 13-5, 5-2 in ACC play. Steve Forbes done a great job in Winston. He's in his fourth year there, won 58% of his games. He's won nearly 71% of his games in his 16 years as a head coach at multiple levels. For Coach Forbes, he'll start three guards. Kevin Boopy Miller, a transfer from Central Michigan. He is seventh in the league at 17.5 points per game and seventh in the league at better than 4 assists per contest. Even with those points, he's not Wake's leading scorer. That's Hunter Salas, the Gonzaga transfer, at nearly 18 points per contest, shooting 40% from three-point range. The third guard is Cameron Hildreth, native of England, the 6'4 junior, averaging better than 16 points per contest. Andrew Carr, another transfer. He started his career at Delaware. He's been in Winston now for a couple of seasons. He's stronger, bigger this year. The 6'10 senior is averaging 14 points per contest. And the fifth starter, another transfer. Efton Reed also started his career at LSU, then Gonzaga, now Wake Forest. He was not planning on playing until the NCAA changed its two-time transfer rule in December. Reed jumped into the lineup, and has not looked back. 8.5 points, nearly 9 rebounds per game. Those are the starters for Wake. Now for Carolina, who comes into tonight at 15-3 overall, 7-0 in conference action. Now 2 games clear of second place in the ACC. Hubert Davis, in his third year at his alma mater, has won 71% of his games as Carolina's head coach. The Heels ranked number 3 in the AP and coaches poll this week. No changes for Carolina. Elliot Cadeau and R.J. Davis in the backcourt. Cadeau, the freshman from West Orange, New Jersey. Davis, the senior from White Plains, New York. Cormac Ryan, the graduate transfer from Notre Dame, averaging 11 points per contest. Harrison Ingram, coming off a double-double, 11 points and 13 rebounds. The 6'7 junior, originally from Dallas, started his career at Stanford. And Armando Bacot, the 6'11 graduate student, originally from Richmond. And he's averaging 14.5 points, 10.5 rebounds per game. By the way, one quick note, this is start number 100 in R.J. Davis's career. He has started all 19 games this season for the Heels. Take a look at the Duncan uniform report. Time to get back to buzzer beaters, blocks, bounce passes, and most of all, Duncan. Welcome back, Tar Heel fans. America runs on Duncan. Carolina going with those 1960s era's throwback, all white with the Carolina blue numbers, letters, and trim. Wake in the road black. The letters in gold, the numbers in white, that white and gold mixed in the trim of the uniforms. It'll be Reed and Bacot to jump ball in the air. Both guys slap it once, then Reed slaps it again, but he knocked it out of bounds. And so Carolina will have the basketball first. Going from right to left as we see it here courtside in the Smith Center. 3 veteran officials, Roger Ayers, Ron Groover, and Bert Smith. The 3 officials calling the action in this one. Because the ball was knocked out of bounds by Wake Forest in what would be Wake's backcourt, Carolina only has 20 seconds on the shot clock for this initial possession instead of the regular 30. So that shot clock's already down to 10. They don't need all of it because R.J. Davis gets a clean look from the left sideline, but a little too strong on the 3. Rebound to Wake Forest. Cutting to the rim right side is Hildreth. Stopped there by Ryan at about the elbow, so he sends it out to Efton Reed. Now to Boopy Miller. Long pass over to Salas. Guarded by R.J. Davis. Big size advantage for Salas, who pulls up left of the lane and bangs it in. Salas listed at 6'5", as R.J. Davis listed at 6 feet.
That's going to be a good challenge for R.J. tonight. Bigger guard. Salas got into the lane. It was still contested, but tough make.
So 2-0 Wake Forest. Carolina's second possession will be another long jump shot. Again, missing the mark, that time from Harrison Ingram from the top right. So the Heels have taken 2 shots, both 3-pointers, and not made either one of them. Carr spinning to the basket. Gets deep, can't finish, and loses the rebound out of bounds. Carr got too deep for Carolina's liking, but couldn't finish the short shot and then fumbled the rebound out of bounds amongst a couple Tar Heels. So it'll belong to Carolina. 1 minute gone by. Again, Heels have taken 2 shots, both threes. Missed them both. Cadeau drives left of the lane, out to Ingram. He'll try another triple. That one's straight on. No good again. Rebound to Wake Forest. So 3 shots, 3 threes, none of them made, and no offensive rebounds. Although all 3 of these shots have been open, certainly, for Carolina.
Yeah, I like that shot because Cadeau got inside the lane, kicked back to Ingram. He was wide open. Typically, he's going to make that later on in the game when he's a little more in rhythm. I feel pretty confident with that shot.
Boopy Miller can't drive by Cormac Ryan, so he sends it out to Salas. Ends up left side to Hildreth. His awkward shot off the window won't go. Nice strong rebound by Bacot. Still 2-0 Wake Forest. Carolina looking for its first basket. Oh, Ingram, didn't realize he was as open as he was underneath the rim. Kicks it out to Cormac Ryan, who strips the net on the long 2.
That was a tough shot. Probably our toughest shot so far of the game, and it goes in.
Ingram got the ball on the low left block. He just didn't realize how open he was. His back was to the basket. He could have easily scored, but Ryan does so to tie it up at 2. Boopy Miller, middle of the floor. The Central Michigan transfer to Efton Reed at the right elbow. He'll hand off to Carr. Ingram trying to stay through a screen to stay with him. Carr sends it out to Miller. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Miller trying to go against Cadeau. Boy, crossover, got some space. Misses the shot, but that was a nasty crossover as Carolina gets the rebound, heading the other way. Cadeau on the left side, dribbles to the top, will hand it off to R.J. Davis. Attacks left of the lane, goes up and under and scoops it home. Bacot sealed the lane, and R.J. paid it off.
Great seal from Bacot, really opening it up for R.J., getting inside, getting an easy bucket inside with the layup.
Salas, tough turnaround is good as he was able to drive into the body of Cadeau. Then Salas does the too small sign, to Cadeau after he turned around and scored. 4-4. Cadeau with a nice crossover. He gets to the rim, can't finish. Rebound tipped out of bounds by Baycott, so it will belong to Wake Forest as Efton Reed and Baycott were battling for the board. So 17:05 to go first half. 4-4 the score. Carolina 2 of 6 from the floor early. Wake is 2 of 5. Both buckets for Wake from their leading scorer, Hunter Salas. Ryan and Davis each with a basket for the Tar Heels. Salas, the Gonzaga transfer, to his fellow former Gonzaga Bulldog, Efton Reed. Backing in right of the lane against Baycott. Those two slamming into one another as Reed goes into the paint. His tough hook shot won't go. Good defense by Baycott, not giving up any ground. Carolina with the board heading the other way. R.J. Davis can't find Baycott down low, so instead he kicks it up high to Ingram. Hand off to Cormac Ryan. Still 20 on the shot clock as Ingram has it again. He'll give it to R.J. Davis. Attacks into the paint, cut off. Out to Baycott. Going to try a straight on three. No good off the back iron. Carolina 0 for 4 from three-point range. Baycott this season 2 of 7. Salas, an awkward-looking three, way off the mark as he took a quick one. Carolina again with the rebound. Neither team has an offensive rebound so far, despite neither team shooting very well thus far. Still 4-4 the score. Baycott, low left block, double team comes, spins away from it, can't finish. Rebound tipped up in the air, still loose. Out to Ryan, extra pass to Davis. Pump fake for three. Now he steps back, he'll take it, and can't get it to go. Another rebound for Wake Forest. Carolina 2 of 9, including 0 of 5 from 3. Wake is 2 of 7, 0 of 2 from 3. Heels already getting Trimble and Withers to the scorers table. 15 on the shot clock for Wake. Efton Reed has it outside the arc. Still 4-4 the score. Reed picks up his dribble, hands off to Boopy Miller on the right. Miller drives to the baseline. Out to Reed. His guarded three. No good. Rebound Harrison Ingram. Still no offensive rebounds for either team. Ingram right up the center of the floor. Nobody ever stopped him until Reed hacks him at the iron as Ingram elevated to the cup. So the foul on Reed, his first. That's the first foul on either team, and it will result in 2 shots for Ingram after this timeout. So neither team shooting well. Heels 2 of 9, Wake 2 of 8, but no offensive rebounds despite all those misses between the two teams. Well, Carolina has 1, That's the only offensive rebound thus far. But Ingram will try to go to the line and give Carolina an early lead when we return. Still 4-4, 15:24 to go in the first half from Learfield. On the backside of a Saturday-Monday turnaround in ACC play, Wake and Carolina coming off wins this weekend. And so far here, not much scoring. 4-4, 15:24 to go in the first half. Harrison Ingram will be at the free throw line when action resumes. Our game sponsor tonight is Lenovo, a global technology leader that has called North Carolina home since 2005. Visit Lenovo.com. Smarter technology for all. Of course, Lenovo during the full season sponsors our stats, and these are not very attractive ones so far, Tyler. Carolina 2 of 9, 0 of 5 from 3. Wake is 2 of 8, 0 of 3 from 3. My opinion, Carolina's gotten better looks than Wake so far, but neither team making a bunch of them here early on.
Yeah, they might have to switch out the rims at halftime. But I will say, we just won at Boston College. That wasn't a pretty game. We did it defensively, and I think it's going to come down to that. Sometimes your defense is your best offense, like I've always said. And once we get settled into this game, this is a big-time ACC game. You can feel the energy in the arena right now. Once these guys settle in and actually get into the flow of the game and start getting some, high percentage shots, I think things are going to start falling for us.
Yeah, crowd still arriving here in the Smith Center as Ingram way short on his free throw. He has now 3 of his last 12 at the free throw line. Crowd still arriving. These 7 o'clock midweek games can be tough to get to right at the start. Ingram, that one's too strong. You could tell it right out of his hand. So Ingram goes 0 of 2. And neither one of them were particularly close.
Well, yeah, he overthought that. He adjusted on the second one, shot it short the first one, then just threw it almost off the backboard on the second one. It's in his head. He'll figure it out.
So 4-4 the score, and Wake turns it over, trying to go down low to Carr. Well, I was going to say they turned it over. The pass to Carr was going to go out of bounds. Trimble tried to go grab it, and in doing so, actually tipped it over the baseline. So Wake's going to keep possession. That was going to be Carolina's ball. But Trimble trying to make the hustle play actually hurt the Tar Heels as Withers checks in. We'll set the 5 for you for Carolina in just a second. Meanwhile, for Wake, Carr backing in against Baycott. kicks it to a new player, Parker Fredrickson, a freshman who's in. Over to Carr again, and there's the shot clock horn. You heard it in the back as Wake didn't realize that the horn or that the clock was getting low. Carolina will have possession. So after a couple subs, Carolina has Davis, Trimble, Ryan, Withers, and Baycott as the 5 on the floor. Wake has made that one sub as well. Parker Fredrickson, a really good three-point shooter, and also Zach Keller, a 6'10 sophomore, have come in. So 2 subs for each team during that last timeout. Cormac Ryan will try to break the seal on the threes. It rattles out from the top left, and then a foul as Trimble bumped into Cameron Hildreth. After Hildreth already had the rebound, the 2 players were starting to move down the court and got tangled up. The foul on Trimble, his first, and first on Carolina. So now the Heels 2 of 10 and 0 of 6 from three-point range. Neither team has scored in more than 2.5 minutes. And with 14:32 to go first half, it's still 4-4. Trimble trying to guard Salas. That's a really good defensive player against a really good offensive player. Hildreth has it now. Trimble switched onto him. Hildreth to the left elbow, trying to back in, turns around, finds Carr, pump fake, gets Withers in the air, and Withers fouls him. Carr couldn't make it pay off for a three-point opportunity as the layup rolled off the rim, but Withers biting on the pump fake is going to put Carr to the line for 2 shots.
Yeah, Withers got a little bit out of position. He went over there to help when the ball got in the lane. His man was open. They kicked back over there. Good pump fake from Carr. Got him up in the air. Better move.
And Carr strips the net on the free throw. He is a 74.5% shooter, although a little below that here recently, just 14 of his last 24. But he gives Wake the 5-4 lead, and now it stays 5-4 as that one's too strong. Baycott tipped the rebound into the hands of Withers. Wake only had one man to rebound, worried about Carolina getting back the other way. As R.J. Davis going to pull up from the left elbow off the back iron, no good. So R.J. is now 1 of 4 shooting. Carolina is 2 of 11 as a team. Wake leads at 5-4, but they turn it over. Hildreth trying to dump it down low, had it knocked away. The ball tipped away from Ryan in the middle of the floor, but Baycott goes to get it. Playing like a point guard, he drives into the lane and now circles back out to set up the offense. R.J. Davis tries the little runner and finally gets one to rattle home.
Great job getting the ball inside. Great screen from Armando, getting R.J. open. He got the ball inside. Nice little floater touch shot from R.J. Those buckets, we need easy buckets. It'll open a lot of things up for us.
That is his second made field goal in 5 tries. Carolina's only made 3 as a team. The Heels lead at 6-5. Couple subs waiting for Wake at the scorer's table. Salas, really tough turnaround, is short. Withers comes soaring in for the rebound.
Great defense from Seth right there. Not to foul on a really good play. He got his hand up. Great contest.
Withers drives baseline, and he is fouled as he got the ball on about midway between the three-point line and the lane right side, and then spun and drove on Carr and picked up the foul on the senior big man for Wake. His first, number 2 on the Deeks. Monsanto, playing just his second game this year, has checked in. He was injured late in the season last year. Just now back, and he'll check in for the first time. Boopy Miller also returns for Wake. 6-5 Carolina, 13:05 to go first half. Neither team able to find their rhythm offensively. Cormac Ryan comes up short on the mid-range jumper from the right side. Rebound to Wake Forest. Boopy Miller goes coast to coast, but has it swatted away by Cormac Ryan out of bounds. It'll stay with Wake with 24 seconds on the shot clock.
Great block from Cormac to chase him down from behind and get the block.
Carolina just 1 offensive rebound despite going 3 of 13. Wake has 1 offensive rebound despite going 2 of 10. Carolina comes into this game 3rd best in the league in offensive rebounds per game and offensive rebound percentage, as closing out on Salas was Jalen Washington. And then Salas got by him and scored, and then Washington turns it over on the inbound as he had picked it up out of the net, was going to throw it into R.J. Davis. Salas kind of hung around for an extra second just to bother him, and it did. Washington stepped over the baseline.
Yeah, Salas stayed back after that move and kind of baited Jae'Lyn into that one. Caught him off guard, just went over the line.
So 7-6 the score. The only field goals for Wake are all by Salas, as now Wake Forest has to take a timeout. They can't get the ball in. So I don't think either team probably feels like they've played the cleanest basketball here through the first 7 minutes and 14 seconds, with Wake Forest leading Carolina 7-6. Salas is 3 for 5. The rest of the Deacs are 0 for 6. They have a free throw in there as well. Meanwhile, for Carolina, Tar Heels are 3 of 13. R.J. Davis has 2 field goals in 5 attempts. Cormac Ryan has a bucket, and that's it so far for the Heels. We're brought to you in part by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of North Carolina, official health insurance partner of Carolina Athletics, believes an inclusive community is a healthy community. Here for the Tar Heels, here for all. So, Tyler, a little sloppy start here from both teams.
Yeah, it's been a poor shooting effort from both sides, but I will say, once we get easier shots, and I mean by, getting our hands on some balls or making them turn it over, getting out in transition, getting some layups, I think it's really going to open some things up. We've taken a lot of contested outside shots, but once we start getting the ball inside and getting easy buckets, high percentage shots, I think things are going to turn around for us.
Davis, Trimble, Ryan, Withers, Washington, the 5 on the floor for Carolina. Boopy Miller again trying to get the inbounds, does in the corner left to Fredrickson. R.J. Davis right there on the catch. The freshman Fredrickson drives in, kind of stumbled, kept his dribble, sends it to Monsanto. Right there on the catch was Cormac Ryan. Around the perimeter, they work it to Salas, and Salas traveled on the drive left of the lane. More good defense from Trimble on the ball.
That was great defense, especially not the foul right there. Salas just put his head down. Seth didn't reach in, stayed disciplined defensively. That was great defense. He's doing a huge part for this team. 3
turnovers for Wake Forest. They have been averaging a fair amount of turnovers here recently, 15.5 per game over the last 4 games. R.J. Davis, the high pick and roll, drives right in the lane, leaves it for Washington, who had rolled down low, and he dunks it home.
That was a great pass from R.J. Jae'Lyn was wide open, goes up for the dunk.
8-7, Carolina with the 1-point lead. Boopy Miller trying to navigate his way through traffic. His tough fall away, good, nothing but net right of the lane. Maybe heard Hubert Davis in the pregame say that Miller is a terrific mid-range shooter, and you saw it there as that fall away from about 13 feet. R.J. Davis, meanwhile, is going to attack the rim, draws contact, no whistle, but he does get the bucket.
That was an incredible finish. The big man went straight up. R.J. still found a way to get the shot off as he was falling down.
Boopy Miller lost control of the ball, but it tipped off of Cormac Ryan's back, right back to Miller. And so Wake has the basketball. Fredrickson driving against Withers, hands it off to Keller, back to Fredrickson. His guarded fall-away 3 is good from the right corner. What a tough shot by the freshman. He shoots better than 43% from behind the arc. 12-10 Wake Forest. R.J. Davis again on the drive, and again he pays it off, this time off the window right side.
R.J. has really gotten to a flow, and also he's making contested tough shots. These shots that R.J. is making right now are not easy.
8 points for Davis. He has 4 of Carolina's 6 made field goals and 8 of the 12 points the Heels have. Boopy Miller stops at the free throw line, tries to duck under Davis, has to send it out to Fredrickson. To Monsanto. Withers right there on the catch. Monsanto, really tough 3. No good. Good box out by Jae'Lyn Washington, allows Davis to go get the ball. Tie game, 10:45 to go. Davis, this time the whistle blows as he's hit, driving right of the lane. Believe he was in the act of shooting. We'll wait for Bert Smith to tell us for sure. Well, I'm not 100%.
I think he said side out.
Yeah, I do too. So the foul's on Fredrickson. And I do think, as Tyler told you, I think that foul's going to be whistled on the floor. So no shots for Davis after this break. 10:43 to go in the first half. And Wake and Carolina tied at 12. Tar Heels and primarily R.J. Davis starting to warm up. See if Carolina's offense can find a rhythm when we return. 12-12, 10:43 to go first half from Learfield.
All the action, all season long. This is Carolina basketball.
Game knotted at 12, 10:43 to go first half. We're brought to you in part by Kohl's. It's a new season at Kohl's with everyday styles at great prices. You can get more of what you want for less. Find go-tos for going everywhere and perfect picks for your home. Shop Kohl's and Kohl's.com today. That's KOHLS.com. Also, the Good Feet store. If you have foot, knee, hip, or back pain, Good Feet arch supports are engineered to support all 4 arches to provide pain relief, balance, and comfort. Try them for yourself. Book your free fitting today at goodfeet.com. A couple of those Lenovo stats. Shooting starting to warm up for both sides after a cold start. Carolina 6 of 16, 37.5%. Still haven't made a 3. They're 0 of 6. Wake is 5 of 14, 35.5%. 1 of 5 from three. That really tough corner triple by Parker Fredrickson, the rookie, the only three-pointer. You know, these two played twice last year, including here in the Smith Center on January 4th. Carolina won that game 88-79. That game had 20 lead changes and 8 ties. And already, Tyler, in this game, there have been 8 lead changes and 3 ties. The entire game has been played with no larger than a 2-point advantage for either side.
Yeah, this is going to be a battle. You can feel the energy right now in the Smith Center. This is just a classic ACC battle right now. And also, Wake Forest desperately needs a big-time win. They have 0 quad 1 wins, I believe, on the whole season. So this would be huge for their program, especially since they've received some criticism for their lack of strength of schedule early on.
Carolina, Cadeau, Baycott, Ingram all back into the ball game. So it's Cadeau, Trimble, Withers, Ingram, and Baycott. Double team comes on Baycott after the inbound, gets it out to Ingram. Extra pass in the corner left to Trimble. Drives baseline, picks up his dribble, gets it down low to Ingram, and he is tied up by Efton Reed. And that'll be a block, a jump ball, and ball to Wake Forest. Because remember, Carolina won the opening tip when the ball was knocked out of bounds. That did not count as a possession for Wake when they knocked it out. So the possession arrow belonging to the Deeks. They'll have it. Reed's a good shot blocker now. He's averages nearly 2 per game. He's had 5 blocks in a game 3 times this year.
Yeah, he's got the size, but also that was a great cut from Harrison to put himself in position. Reed just came over and blocked it from behind. Actually kind of caught him off guard.
Salas trying to post up, gets the ball on the low block against Trimble, backing in with 6 on the shot clock, picks up his dribble, forces up a tough shot. That goes.
That was a tough shot, but also that was Trimble guarding him one-on-one, not a lot of help side. That if he's going to make shots like that tonight, it's going to be a tough night for him, but that was good defense.
Salas already has 8 points, as does R.J. Davis. Carolina now down 2 the other way, and Withers is fouled on the drive as he went on the angle drive from the left. Foul is going to be called on Monsanto, his first. That's the 4th on Wake as a team, and that will result in free throws for Withers. Haven't been a lot of free throws in this game. Wake 1 of 2. That was by Andrew Carr. Harrison Ingram went 0 for 2 for Carolina. 9:49 to go first half. 14-12, Wake Forest with the lead.
Yeah, and also, you know, when there's not a lot of free throws, sometimes you could say that teams are settling for outside jump shots, and you got to get the ball inside a little bit.
First free throw good by Withers, shooting 79.5%. 18 of his 34 attempts this year have been in the last 4 games. So he's been playing more and being more aggressive, and that has resulted in a good shooter going to the line more often and makes them both.
He's getting his confidence, and also he's coming in with an energy that's really rubbing off, and I think he's providing a huge lift for the Tar Heels right now.
14-14 after the 2 free throws by Withers. 9:40 to go first half. 20 on the shot clock for Wake as Boopy Miller dribbling well out on the right. Looking for Salas, gets it to him, back to the basket on the right wing. Now he faces up, still outside the 3-point arc. Bounces in the post to Efton Reed. One-on-one with Baycott. Reed bullying with Baycott. Throws up a wild hook shot, too strong.
There's a lot of contact down there. This is just a classic big man. Mondo and Reed just going at it. A lot of physicality.
Cadeau dribbles into the right corner, tried to pass it up the sideline back to Ingram, and it was knocked out of bounds. Wojcik is going to replace Trimble. Salas does go to the bench as well for Wake Forest. So Trimble came in. A lot of his purpose was to guard Salas there, and he'll sit down as Salas sits down. First minutes for Wojcik tonight.
Yeah, Trimble did a really good job coming out there. That's a tough task. Salas, he's an unbelievable player, so we got to take advantage of this opportunity while he's on the bench.
Ingram spins by his defender, Hildreth, who checked back in, and Ingram banks it home for 2. Ingram was backing in left of the lane, something we've seen him do a lot, and then all of a sudden he faced up, went at Hildreth, and spun by him for the bucket.
He's got good strength, and also he's got good post work.
Boopy Miller, crazy shot. Wake has taken some really difficult shots, and he misses that one. Rebound to Withers. Long outlet by Cadeau to Ingram. Wake does a nice job getting back. Ingram backing in against Hildreth. Spins, kicks it out to Withers. Doesn't take the open 3. Instead, drives right to the lane, and he's going to earn the foul. Got wiped out. I believe it was Carr. Yes, it is. That's the second on the 6'10 senior for Wake. I tell you what, they could have called a foul, too, down low. I mean, Reed and Baycott were like bear hugging down low. And it's going to be Withers, though, that eventually goes to the stripe.
Yeah, just two heavyweights just banging down low. It's been a fun battle to watch these two kids go at it. I mean, this is like, old school basketball a little bit.
Free throw by Withers rattles in. He has 3 points all at the line. And it's now a 17-14 Carolina lead with 8:32 to go in the first half. Second one for the graduate transfer from Charlotte, and knocks it in. He might be getting a breather. He will. Good minutes by Withers as R.J. Davis comes to get him, and Withers will get a nice round of applause for his effort off the bench.
He deserves it. He came in there, knocked down some big free throws, but also he played with great energy, put his head down, got to the rim.
Cadeau, Davis, Wojcik, Ingram, Baycott, the five on the floor for Carolina right now with the Heels up 18-14. Carolina on a little mini 6-0 run here. Wojcik. Boy, that was a pretty easy foul call as he was guarding Hildreth and was just slapping at the ball from behind him, wrapping his arm around him. And Wojcik called for the first foul on him, third on Carolina. 20 on the shot clock for the Deeks. 8:19 on the first half game clock. Hildreth, quick inbounds to Boopy Miller, guarded by the freshman Cadeau. He'll give it right back to Hildreth. Wake trying to put Wojcik in the pick and roll. Hildreth stumbling into the paint, out to Miller. Cadeau there on the catch. Miller on the drive, cut off. And, boy, no whistle, even though there was a ton of contact. Carolina running the other way. Cadeau's going to go to the rim, force it up for two.
Great finish.
Right at Andrew Carr. 20-14. Hubert Davis applauding his team's defensive effort. He's fired up. 20-14. Carolina by 6. Smith Center crowd on its feet. Hildreth, crossover, gets by Wojcik. Pulls up, no good. Ingram with the rebound. Carolina on the run. Ingram right down the center of the floor. Finds Cadeau on the right wing. The freshman attacks. His floater off the glass for two. Timeout, Wake Forest.
You could say Armando, that's twice he's done the seal right there. Got the point guard, wide open layup for Cadeau. Great rim run and seal from Armando to get him that easy bucket.
Well, and remember, Wake took a timeout on an inbounds earlier, so they have just 2 remaining for the rest of the game. Carolina's made 6 straight shots and on a 12-2 run. It also sent us to a timeout. 7:35 to play. First half in the Smith Center. Carolina 22, Wake Forest 14 from Learfield. Carolina 22, Wake Forest 14. It's a 12-2 run, and you can bring that down a little bit to a 10-0 run for Carolina. This is an impressive stat. Carolina's played 19 times. In 13 of the 19 games, Carolina's had a 10-0 run or better against the opposition. That's pretty impressive with these big spurts, and you've seen one and heard one here with the Heels going up 8. Not a lot of assists in there, just 1 assist in the game so far. Carolina has 1, Wake has 0. But for every assist this year, Harris Teeter is assisting you with groceries this basketball season. Each week, one winner will receive free groceries for every assist. You can visit harristeeter.com and look for the Big 4 grocery assist page to enter today. Tyler, at the very beginning of the broadcast, you talked some about Carolina's defense. It feels like they forced Wake into some difficult shots. Field multiple times we said, hard shot, crazy shot. I mean, they have forced up some really tough looks.
Yeah, it's going to be one of the keys for the game. And also, Wake Forest is one of the best offensive teams in the ACC. Yeah. They just came off a huge scoring output. The last game, they got a lot of threes up, made a lot of threes. That's going to be a key going forward. But also on that run right there, we really got out in transition, really pushed the ball. I think pace of play is big for this team. Once we get some stops, converting, running, and getting back on the other end has been big for us.
Officially, Carolina only has 2 fast break points, but they have been able to move up and down, certainly here as of late, and they've gotten inside. 16 of Carolina's 22 points have come in the paint. Heels with a little bit of pressure in the backcourt. Hunter Salas is back in, not surprisingly for Wake. He has 8 of Wake's 14 points and 4 of their 9 made field goals.
Also, we went on that big run with him on the bench. I think Forbes desperately wanted him back in the game.
Boopy Miller, short bounce pass to Salas. Size advantage against R.J. Davis. He'll kick it in the corner, though, to Efton Reed. The big man misses the 3, and it's Wojcik who out-wrestles his teammate Cadeau for the rebound. Wojcik sprinting front side on the right to Cadeau in the middle of the floor between the circles. Heels up 22-14. Cadeau, oh my gracious, tough backdoor pass to Wojcik, who got clubbed going up for the layup, no whistle. And Wake the other direction. Well, we've seen some big contact on one side with no foul call and nothing there as Carr has it for Wake on the low left block, trying to body in against Ingram. His turnaround hook shot crawls in.
That was a tough shot right over Ingram. Ingram was battling him a little bit. Carr backed him down. He's given up some size guarding Carr, but still difficult shot.
Carolina up 22-16. Wake stops that 10-0 run with that bucket by Carr. Cadeau around a screen, gets in, hangs in the air. Gracious, another.
A lot of contact on that one. I'm shocked there wasn't a whistle.
Wake the other direction. Hildreth bounces to Salas, trying to drive against Wojcik. Bumps him off and pulls up and gets the roll.
That was a great move. I haven't seen many college kids make that one. A little fader off the dribble.
So Wake back-to-back buckets after Carolina felt it had drawn some contact at the rim on back-to-back plays. 22-18, Wake back within 4. R.J. Davis, he draws contact, can't finish. And then Wojcik is going to be called for a rebounding foul. That is his second, 4th on Carolina, and Cormac Ryan is going to check in and replace Wojcik. Now, look, we mentioned it. There was an earlier play during that run where it looked like Cadeau got away with a foul knocking into a Wake player, but Tar Heels a little frustrated the other direction here in these last few possessions.
Good physical game. I'm not sure the Smith Center was too happy with about those last couple non-calls or the last call.
And this is a good crew. Ayers, Groover, Bert Smith. These are 3 veteran officials. As Ingram flashes from behind, and he's going to get called for a foul as he had slipped behind Carr to knock the pass away and earn a steal. But instead, he will earn a foul, his first. Now those fouls are evened up at 5. But for each team, 5:41 to go in the half, still 22-18 Carolina. As the quick inbounds right in front of the rim to Hildreth. He just catches it and pushes it in, elevated over Cadeau. It's a 6-0 Wake spurt to get back within 2. Handoff Ingram to Davis around the perimeter. He'll try a step-back triple. Off the back iron, way up in the air. Efton Reed pulls down the board. Here comes Wake the other way. They can tie with a 2 or take the lead with a 3. Salas goes in the corner to Boopy Miller. His triple is short, no good. Harrison Ingram with the rebound. Still 22-20, Carolina by a bucket. Cadeau drops off a pass for R.J. Davis. Davis in the right corner, back out to Cadeau. He'll work it around the perimeter, ends up left side to Ryan. Hard dribble, Ryan gets to the cup, no good, but there's Baycott to clean it up for the putback.
That was a great follow by Baycott. His man went over to help on Cormac, which allowed him to get that easy offensive putback. Savvy move from Baycott right there.
That's the first bucket for Baycott. Makes it 24-20. Hildreth in the left corner offensively for Wake Forest. To Efton Reed. Short bounce pass back to Hildreth, who's trying to back in against R.J. Davis on the left baseline. Turns around, goes off the glass, and scores. Hildreth's second field goal. He averages better than 16 per game. Wake has 3 players in the top 13 of the ACC in scoring. Cadeau out on the perimeter right side. It's 24-22. Cadeau changes speeds and gets right to the rim for the easy bucket.
Way to keep his dribble alive and keep navigating right there for the easy bucket from Cadeau. 26-22. Cadeau has 6.
He and R.J. Davis have combined for 14 of Carolina's 26 points. Heels by 4. Largest lead has been 8. 4:02 to go in the first half. Hildreth against R.J. Davis on the right sideline. Bounces back up towards the middle of the floor to Carr. Hands off to Boopy Miller. Shot clock down to 8. Miller trying to get by Cadeau. Can't do it. Back out to Carr. His guarded 3 is short, and a foul called on Cadeau. That is going to be 3 free throws for Carr as Cadeau closing out. Fouled Carr. We'll get a look at it here on the replay, and Cadeau just got his legs in the area that Carr was trying to land. So Cadeau's first foul, and it will result in 3 free throws after this. 3:49 to go first half. Heels 26, Wake 22 from Learfield. Heels up 4, 26-22, but Andrew Carr will be going to the free throw line for 3 shots when action resumes, as Elliot Cadeau called for a foul on Carr's 3-point attempt before that last timeout. Basketball camps are back. Young men who will be in grades 6 or 7 during the 24-25 school year can apply for a scholarship through their local electric cooperative to attend the UNC basketball school this June. You can apply online at ncelectriccooperatives.com/sportscamps. North Carolina's electric cooperatives, building a brighter future for people and communities across the Tar Heel state. Jones Angel, Tyler Hansbrough here with you courtside in the Smith Center. Again, Heels up 4 with 3:49 to play before the half. Tyler, what has stood out to you here in the first portion of this ball game as we head into the final frame of the first half?
Well, for me, we haven't made many outside shots tonight.
Yeah, none. 0 of 7 from 3 for Carolina.
Yeah, and we still have the lead, and which is, we haven't been shooting it well, and we're still finding ways to win ugly. I still say, hey, defense is our key. As long as we get out there, guard, and make sure they shoot contested shots, we're going to give ourselves a chance to win this one.
Wake's done a good job defensively against the 3 here as of late. So their last 2 opponents coming into this game, that's State and Louisville, a combined 2 of 19 from 3. If you add the Virginia game in, which was the game before that duo, 6 of 31 for their last 3 opponents. And the Heels are 0 of 7 here in the first half. So a trend for Wake continues as Carr hits the first free throw. He's now 2 of 3 on the evening. He's the only Wake player to take a free throw. He'll have 2 more on the 3-shot opportunity. Makes the second, so it's now 26-24. Carr has 1 more coming. Couple of 3 right-handed dribbles for Carr. That one looked short, but he was able to get it to go.
He's kind of got an unorthodox free throw. I mean, he just made all 3 of them, but still looked a little funky.
26-25. He kind of pushes it up there, but got them all to go, and he's 4 of 5 tonight. So Wake within 1 as Trimble has checked back in for Carolina. Cadeau sits down. Davis over to Cormac Ryan on the right sideline. Hildreth right there on the catch. Ryan drives by him, gets into the lane, and he's going to earn a couple freebies as he was fouled on the shot. That foul is on Hildreth, his first. 6th foul on Wake Forest. It was a shooting foul, so Cormac Ryan will go to the line for 2 shots. Carolina as a team, 4 of 6. Withers 4 of 4. Ingram 0 of 2. These will be the first attempts for Ryan on the evening. Carolina leading 26-25, now 27-25 with Ryan knocking in the first.
Cormac's a pretty good free throw shooter, and I always feel pretty confident when he gets in there. But also that last play right there, that's a great job by Armando setting that screen, making Cormac's holding his defender up and allowing him to get into the lane.
Ryan makes them both. He's now 13 of 14 in his last 3+ games from the line and shooting better than 91% on the year. 28-25, Carolina by 3. 3:25 to go in the first half. Poopy Miller dribbling well out near the timeline. Drifts to the center of the floor. Lobs a high pass to Efton Reed, still outside the arc on the top right. Pushes a one-handed pass to Salas, who's been a problem. And a foul is called off the ball. Oh, no, it's on the ball on Cormac Ryan. Not sure. Oh, Ryan, we see it now. As Ryan got up and accidentally got his hand in the face of Salas as he was trying to stay in front of him. So the foul on Ryan is first. 7th on Carolina, and that'll put Salas to the line for a 1-and-1. Again, Wake, the second best free throw shooting team in the country at better than 80%. And Salas makes the front end of the 1-and-1. The Deacs have not shot as many free throws as Carolina. 346 on the year. Carolina had 450 attempts coming into the game. But Wake is really good at the line, although Salas sees the second one pop out. 28-26. R.J. Davis going to take a look at Hubert Davis as Carolina will set up a play this time in the half court. Bounce pass to Trimble, middle of the floor. Dribble handoff to Cormac Ryan. Gets a screen from Baycott that the Wake bench wanted a moving screen. Doesn't get the call. Now R.J. Davis. He'll attack left of the lane. Leaves it for Baycott at the free throw line. His spinning hook shot is off the front of the rim. No good. Salas pulls down the rebound. Monsanto in transition. Cormac Ryan right there on the catch. Almost forced to travel. Wake will set up in the half court. Boopy Miller thought about the really long distance 3. Doesn't take it. Instead, he'll drive in right of the lane against Trimble. Dribbles through the paint right to left. Sends it out to Monsanto. Now to Salas. His guarded 3. No. Off the back iron. Withers will earn the board. 28-26 Carolina. R.J. Davis other way. Dribbles through traffic. Pulls up at the ACC logo and gets the roll. Davis with 10 here in the first half.
That was great penetration from R.J. Pushing the ball, getting the shot, getting the ball inside for his little push floater.
30-26. Heels by 4. Largest lead's only been 8. This has been a tight first half. Hildreth on the perimeter for Wake Forest to Monsanto. Catch and shoot 3. That's nothing but cash from the left sideline. Can't let him get free. Withers got caught behind a screen. 30-29. Carolina still has not made a 3 in this half. Wake is now 2 of 9. It's a 1-point game. Heels by 1. R.J. Davis around a Baycott screen. Left of the lane. Another runner. Good again.
Through contact as well with that little push shot. A good screen from Armando. His man had to switch. Reed bumped R.J. on the way up. Great finish from him.
32-29. Hubert Davis is screaming at Ron Groover, who is having a stern discussion back. Heels by 3. Boy, Hubert Davis is really upset. Salas has it stripped by Davis. Salas able to get it back. Finds Monsanto again. His another 3 is good. And he turns and stares at the Carolina crowd.
He's looking for his shot. He's pumped up, talking a little smack. And you can see Coach Davis is really getting into it right now.
Harrison Ingram comes to the scorer's table for Carolina. 1 minute to go in the half. R.J. Davis whips it to Withers. He'll try and answer the 3. It is off the mark from the left wing. 32-32. Wake with the defensive board. Carolina only has 2 offensive rebounds here in the first half. Only 3 offensive rebounds for the 2 teams combined. Boopy Miller drives left of the lane. Stops from the defense from Trimble. Sends it out to Efton Reed. Handoff to Hildreth. Hildreth penetrates in. His push shot good. Wake's hit some tough shots here to take the lead.
That was a tough shot. That was almost a little one-handed floater. Unorthodox in the lane over our hands. That was tough.
Only a 1 second difference, shot clock and game clock. Wake now up by 2, 34-32. Carolina led by as many as 8.
I think they want Armando and RJ for this one.
Game clock down to 8. Davis crossover by Salas. A foul is called as he took huge contact at the rim by Efton Reed.
I tell you what, they're making RJ work for his buckets. There's a lot of contact on a lot of his shots. He's working for it tonight.
Foul on Reed. That's 2 on the Wake big man, and Davis will go to the line for 2 shots. Clock stops at 5.6 seconds to go. So 34-32 Wake, 5.6 seconds to play here near the end of the first half. First free throw by R.J. Davis is no good. Front iron, back iron, and out. Just his 5th miss of the year. But going back to last game, he's now 4 of his last 6. Ingram will check in for Baycott. Baycott doesn't have any fouls, but Carolina going to take him out.
I'm guessing the substitution is just so we can switch and not give up an open look defensively.
Davis does hit the second free throw. Carolina still down 1. Inbounds to Boopy Miller. He'll sprint front side on the right. Miller, his guarded 3 at the horn is short, and that'll be how the first half ends. But for just the 6th time this year, Carolina will trail at the half as Wake Forest leads by a point, 34-33. Carolina led by as many as 8 at 22-14, but Wake quickly closed that gap and ends up taking a 1-point lead into the locker room. Dave will take you through the Wells Fargo halftime show after this. Wake 34, Carolina 33 at the break from Learfield. That'll wrap up the Wells Fargo halftime show, brought to you by Wells Fargo, official sponsor of Carolina Athletics, and take us to the trusted choice of the game, brought to you by the Trusted Choice Independent Insurance Agents of North Carolina, who want you to stay safe behind the wheel. So put down your phone while driving. Let's have a hands-free NC. To learn more and find an agent near you, visit trustedchoice.com/go heels. Tyler, what in your mind will be important in the second half for Carolina to get out of here with a win?
The key for me is containing Hunter Salas.
Yeah.
I think he's been, he's the guy for Wake Forest, and he had a big first half for them, majority of their scoring. I think we've got to make everything difficult for him and keep containing him and make everything that he shoots contested.
Salas, 5 of 8 from the floor, 11 points. R.J. Davis has 13 for Carolina. Next leading scorer on each team is down to 6. So it's really been Davis and Salas doing a large majority of the scoring for the 2 teams. Wake leading 34-33. Going to the second half, Carolina will have the basketball first. And the Heels going left to right as we see it here courtside in the Smith Center. So Heels down a point with the basketball. Cadeau turns it over, trying to find a cutting R.J. Davis on the initial play of the half. Davis trying to work around an off-ball screen, and Cadeau forced the pass that wasn't there. Meanwhile, Boopy Miller the other direction. His turnaround won't drop. Ingram way up in the air for the rebound for Carolina. So the Heels will try again. Pitch ahead by Cadeau to Cormac Ryan. Can't get his little runner to roll over the rim. It was a little short from the right side. Crawled over that right rim, but too strong off the left and fell off. No good. Wake Forest back with the basketball in the 1-point lead, 34-33. Efton Reed in the post left side. Faces up against Baycott. Fakes a pass. Now he's just going to bang with him to go down low. And his tough hook, he does get the roll. And Efton Reed has his first bucket. Wakes up 3.
He was determined to get that right-hand hook. Crab dribble, got inside, right-hand hook.
Baycott pulls up at the free throw line in transition. No good. Wake with the rebound. Wake has his largest lead of the game of 3. And a little momentum here coming out of the halftime locker room. 36-33 the score. Deeks get it to Salas, who had that good first half. Spinning left of the lane against Davis. Nothing there. Has to kick it out. Wake works it in the corner right to Hildreth. Hildreth, his fall away. No good on the baseline. Challenged by Ryan. Rebound to Harrison Ingram. Carolina on the run. Davis with a nice crossover. Gets to the rim right side and lays it in.
Another seal from Armando. Armando rim ran on that one. Really opened it up for RJ. Again, he's done that 3 times tonight.
Salas the other direction. Had it stripped by Davis, but a foul is called on RJ Davis. And that'll put Salas to the line. Everybody in the Smith Center looks up to the video boards to see if Davis... Bit of a tough call upon review, but it'll be the first on Davis and put Salas to the line for 2 shots. Wake up 36-35. And Salas hits the free throw for his 12th point.
I think RJ's got a case right there, but you got to play through that. Can't get caught up, getting upset about the whistle. You got to stay focused, even if you're not getting the benefit of the doubt.
Salas goes 1 for 2. Ingram with another rebound. That's now 9 for him. He came in as Carolina's second leading rebounder at nearly 8 per contest. Cadeau with the heels down 2. Drives in, sends it to Ingram on the right sideline. Steps through the defense and gets the roll on the layup to tie the game. It wasn't quite sure if it wanted to go in or not, but it sure did. 37-37. 17:55 to go. It's been an intense game and a close game the whole night so far in at the Smith Center. Hildreth wanting to dump it in the post. Does so to Carr against Ingram. He'll go up. Can't score, but Ingram called for the foul. We got blocked off by Steve Forbes on the Wake sideline. Let's take a look here at the replay. Ingram just clipped Carr as he went up. And that's the second foul on Ingram. Second on Carolina this half, and free throws again for Wake Forest. This time it's Carr, who is 4 of 5 tonight. And again, that push kind of free throw, real deep knee bend. Kind of shoves it up there, but makes the first for his 7th point. Wake back on top by a point, 38-37. And now 2 points.
You can really tell that Wake has made a point to go to Carr in the post. I've seen multiple times where they've tried to get the ball to him inside.
Wake up by 2, 39-37. Cadeau on the drive, gets to the rim and scores.
Finished through some contact as well. That was a tough finish from Cadeau.
Cadeau has 8. He's Carolina's second leading scorer. So much of Carolina's offense has been on the drive. The Heels have just 1 assist in the entire game. Hildreth backdoor to Salas. He can't finish through contact. Rebound tipped out to the Heels. Cadeau to try to give Carolina the lead. Steps through traffic and lays it home.
Again, finishing through contact. That was a tough, great push from Cadeau to get that bucket.
41-39. Boopy Miller drives in. Sends it in the corner to Carr. Short on the 3. Rebound to Cadeau. Head up. Long pitch ahead to Baycott. And he has the ball slapped out of his arms. Here comes Wake the other direction. Salas pulls up at the free throw line. It's short. Rebound picked up, though, off the deck by Reed for the dunk. Hubert Davis is hopping mad at the officials.
I mean, every shot we've had pretty much in the second half, it's been through a little bit of contact, but we're settling in. We've done a good job not letting that affect us.
Game tied at 41. Ingram gets switched onto Miller. That's a size advantage for Ingram. Double team comes. Out to Cadeau. Extra pass. Ends up left corner to Davis. 4-3. First one of the night for the Heels.
That was great ball movement from us. All the way to the opposite side of the corner for a wide open 3-point shot for RJ. That's been our best ball movement all night.
Davis has 18. It's 44-41. Carr, high post, back to the basket. He'll hand off to Salas, middle of the floor, shot clock at 12. Pushes to Reed on the right sideline, right back to Salas. Stutter step and drive. Tough two is an air ball. Rebound. Chased down by Ryan. Here comes Carolina the other way with a 3-point lead. Cadeau whips it to RJ. Transition. Triple. Count it, baby! 47-41. 21 now for Davis. Miller tries to drive against Ryan on the left. Stops in the paint. Ducks underneath. And a foul is called on Cormac Ryan by Ron Groover. That's the second on Ryan and third on Carolina this half. And right now, the only thing slowing the heels is the whistle, as with 15:40 to go, Carolina is now up 47-41. Wake will be inbounding when we return. 15:40 to go. It's hot in the Smith Center tonight. Carolina by 6 from Learfield. Well, these two have played each other plenty of times before. This is the 234th meeting between Carolina and Wake Forest, and this is an intense one. Heels 47, Wake 41. Two good teams going at it in the Smith Center. 15:40 to play in the second half. Our game tonight presented by Lenovo, a global technology leader that has called North Carolina home since 2005. Visit Lenovo.com. Lenovo, smarter technology for all. And we're brought to you in part by Modelo, an official beer of the Tar Heels. Jones Angel, Tyler Hansbrough here with you courtside in the Smith Center. You've heard from Dave Nathan and Adam Lucas. Ben Alexander, our chief network engineer. Jody Zoigner helping us out with statistical work. John Essick back in the Tar Heel Sports Network studios. And Tyler, doesn't really feel like it, but the Heels now up to 50% shooting from the field in this game, including 6 of 8 with 6 made in a row this half. That's including going just 2 of 10 from three-point range. So you take that inside the arc. Heels are 17 of 28 from 2, and that's given them the 50 percentage points on the shooting, and now the 6-point lead.
Yeah, I really think we've done a good job of pushing the ball to start the second half. And I think that's been key to really opening up things on the outside shooting, especially from three-point line. I don't think we had a three-pointer all first half. Yeah. And to start the second half, we had great ball movement. We threw the ball inside in the post, kicked it back out when the double came, and then reversed it all the way to the other side for RJ, wide open three-point play.
Wake gets it in the corner to Salas. Davis right there on the catch. Shot clock down to 15 as Hildreth has it now. Cormac Ryan trying to stay in front of him. Hildreth around a screen, gets into the paint. Nice pump fake to get Ryan to fly by, and then he lays it in. Hildreth, a crafty veteran player, has 8. And Carolina up 4, 47-43. Ingram lost the ball for a moment at the free throw line, goes back to get it. Tries to back in against Carr, nothing there, so we'll send it out to R.J. Davis to reset. Davis has 21. Weaves around traffic. His runner is good. Front iron, backboarding good, and now a foul has been called. Ron Groover with a little bit of a late whistle there, but the foul's going to be called on Efton Reed. That's his third, and that'll give R.J. Davis the chance to complete the three-point play.
I think he got him on this way down. You got to give the shooter room to land, and I think that's where Reed got him.
Efton Reed is a good player. He has struggled with fouls. This is now the 10th time in the 12 games that he's played that he's had 3 or more fouls, and he's fouled out twice. He will go to the bench with those 3 fouls and 15:08 to go in the second half. Davis's free throw is good. So R.J. Davis now up to 24 points. He has 11 in the second half. Carolina full court pressure. Wake just able to get it in to Carr before the 5-second violation. Heels now up 7, 50-43. Largest lead for Carolina was 8 in the first half. Hildreth shakes free of Trimble, but Ingram over there to help. Passes over to Boopy Miller. Miller drives left of the lane, guarded tightly by Cadeau. His turnaround fall away. Tough shot is good by Miller. Just his second field goal, but he worked for that one.
Yep, that was good defense. Sometimes you just got to tip your cap to a tough offensive shot.
50-45, Heels by 5. Baycott gets it in the post, goes up against the double team, and he's fouled. These will be the first free throws of the game for Baycott. Fouls on Zach Keller, the reserve big man who had checked in when Reed got his third foul. Second foul on Wake this half. And Baycott, who has shot the second most free throws in the ACC coming into this game, will go to the line for his first 2 attempts tonight. He only has 2 points on 1 made field goal in the first half.
Yeah, and I think that's why, Reed getting in foul trouble is really going to benefit us. He's done a very good job on Armando, which is a tough task. And, if he gets into foul trouble, I think Armando could get things going and be big for us.
Withers checks in. Cadeau will get a breather. So it's Davis, Trimble, who came in for Ryan a moment ago. Withers, Ingram, and Baycott. That's the 5 on the floor for Carolina. As Baycott doesn't get the roll on the second free throw. Man, that one rattled around but popped out. 51-45. Carolina by 6. Wake with the basketball. Salas between the circles, guarded tightly by Trimble. Trimble, boy, working so hard to make it difficult for Salas. Over to Carr. He's guarded tightly by Withers on the left wing. Carr tries to drive in. Really a battle between the two, and then Bert Smith calls a foul on Jae'Lyn Withers, as Withers going to be his second foul and the 4th on Carolina. .14 to go, second half. Heels up 6. Wake, though, with the basketball. Deeks led by a point at halftime. Hildreth, the hard jump stop in the paint. Baycott goes to challenge it, forces him to alter the shot. No good. Rebound to Carolina. Long pitch ahead by Davis to Ingram. Right back to R.J. Davis. Gets a screen from Baycott. Stops at the right elbow and backs out. He'll send it in the corner right to Trimble. Trimble, hard drive, and boy, has his shot rejected at the rim by Carr. Here comes Wake Forest the other way to Hildreth. Back to Miller. Open look for 3 in transition. Off the mark. Rebound to Withers. R.J. Davis the other way. This time the Heels will slow it up and set up a play. 13:38 to go, second half. Carolina up 6. Baycott sets the screen to get Davis free. Pulls up at the free throw line. It deadens on the back iron. No good. Rebound Wake. Hildreth dribbles behind his back to get to the free throw line. Sends it out to Salas. Salas with Withers guarding it. Step back jump shot. No good. Rebound at the free throw line to R.J. Davis. Long pitch ahead to Withers, who had run out, and he is fouled by Salas from behind.
Boy, that was a good out transition run from Jae'Lyn. Boy, he got contested. He wanted that dunk really bad. I'm not sure he knew how close Hunter Salas was behind him.
Salas, who Carolina recruited heavily out of high school, ended up at Gonzaga, now at Wake. Picks up his first foul and 3rd on Wake Forest this half, but it will result in 2 free throws for Withers, who had leaked out in transition. 51-45, Carolina with 13:15 to go. I think Jalen Washington is going to come in for Baycott after this first free throw. Withers at the strike. First one's up. And no good. Boy, Carolina's had a couple of these free throws here pop out. They are now 2 of 4 this half. 9 of 14 in the game. Indeed, Washington does replace Baycott. Withers now 4 of 5 at the stripe tonight. He'll get the second of the 2-shot opportunity with 13:15 to go. Heels up 6. Largest lead for Carolina in the game has been 8, though they trailed at halftime by a point. Withers gets the roll on the second. Front iron, backboard, and through. 52-45. Hildreth bringing it front side for Wake, guarded by Ingram in the man-to-man for the Tar Heels. To Salas, Trimble there with it. Gets a big screen from Monsanto, who just checked in for Wake. Deacons working around the perimeter. Hildreth will pull up for 3. Way too strong. Rebound to R.J. Davis. Davis on the run the other way. Bounce pass to Withers. Gets too deep. Able to find Jalen Washington, who forces it up and in.
That was a tough finish through contact, but you got to give Washington credit right there to keep moving, put himself into scoring position.
Largest lead of the game for Carolina. Salas pushes off on Trimble. Kicks it out to Monsanto. Step back 3. No good. Rebound bounces to Davis. 12:27 to go. Carolina up 9. RJ crossover. RJ on the drive. RJ can't quite finish, but he will go to the free throw line after the foul on Zach Keller. Second on Keller both this half. 4th on Wake Forest. Not quite the 9th. And that'll put Davis to the line for 2 shots as everybody takes a breath. You're right, Tyler. You mentioned this a moment ago. The pace of this half has picked up tremendously compared to the first.
It's been a track meet to start the second half, and I think that favors. Us. When we get up and down and we play this, faster-paced game, I think it plays into our hands and one of our strengths of what we do well. So I like the up tempo.
Ryan will check back in as Ingram gets a breather for Carolina. First free throw was good by R.J. Davis, so that makes it a 10-point game. 55-45 Carolina with 12:23 to go. Second free throw. That's good as well. Boy, R.J. Davis now up to 26 points. It's the sixth time this year he's had 25 or more. His career high is 30. 56-45, Heels by 11. Wake with the basketball. The freshman Fredrickson who's in, guarded by Davis. Works around a screen, gets to the right elbow, sends it out to Salas. Trimble right there with him as he's been most of the night when he's been in the game. Hildreth on the drive, runs into Washington, and there'll be a foul called on Jalen Washington, who was trying to recover after the high screen to get in defensive position. Foul on Washington is fourth on Carolina. Let's see if they say he was shooting. No, they're going to say it's just an inbound for the Deeps on the baseline left.
Yeah, and I agree with that. And also right now, it looks like Wake is going 5 out. They're putting 5 players around the perimeter. They're just driving and kicking. So this is a tough challenge for Jae'Lyn.
Salas, quick inbounds in the corner left. Wake works it all around the perimeter, ends up to Hildreth, guarded by Washington on a switch. Hildreth on the drive, his fall away, no good. Rebound punched up off the glass by Wake's Keller, but ends up being recovered by Washington.
That was great defense from Jae'Lyn.
Quick three, the other side. Cormac Ryan in transition. Swishes it home. Wake can wait no longer. Timeout Deeks. First three-pointer for Ryan, and it stretches the lead to 14 at 59-45 with 11:44 to go. Wake has one timeout left for the rest of the ball game. We'll take a timeout as well. Carolina down 1 at the half, now up 14 in the midst of a 12-2 and 9-0 run. Carolina 59, Wake 45 from Learfield. $11:44 to go, second half. Tar Heels have outscored Wake Forest this half, 26-11. After trailing by a point at the break, Heels are 9 of 13 from the floor. Wake is just 4 of 16. Those stats presented by Lenovo, smarter technology for all. Again, that North Carolina Farm Bureau scoreboard reads Carolina 59, Wake 45. That's brought to you by Farm Bureau Insurance, helping you is what they do best. After the game, we'll have our Best in the Game feature brought to you by Old Dominion Freight Line. Old Dominion Freight Line works hard to be the best in the game and is proud to support those striving to be the best in theirs. And, Tyler, there's still some game left, but certainly R.J. Davis is working hard to get that Old Dominion Best in the Game player of the game. R.J., 10 of 16 from the floor, 26 points. He's 2 of 5 from 3, both this half, 4 of 5 at the free throw line, 4 rebounds, 2 assists as well. Yeah, I mean, R.J. has elevated himself to one of the best players in the country, and he's playing like it tonight.
He has come out in the second half on a mission, and he's getting out, running. He's in transition. He's doing everything right now. He's pretty much our whole offense. But I can tell you, during that timeout, I think Forbes is telling his team, he's telling Wake, we got to slow him down. We can't get up and down into a track meet with Carolina. We've got to slow him down. I think that's what Wake is going to come out and try to do from here on out.
Carolina with some pressure in the backcourt. Wake able to get it into Salas. Trimble right there in his front pocket. 59-45 as Salas gets front side. Trimble just will not let up defensively. Floats it to Efton Reed, top of the key. Jalen Washington guarding him. Hand off to Hildreth, drives on the right. Ball ends up going up, no good. Rebound is fought for. Withers sliding on the ground. Let's see what's going to be called. It'll be a jump ball and possession arrow to Wake Forest. Bert Smith and Roger Ayers talked about it to see what the call was they called a traveling violation. They called Withers for a travel as he fell back fighting for the loose basketball. So the traveling violation called on Withers will give it to Wake, and Wake still does have the possession arrow. This is another dead ball under 12, so this will be another full timeout. That last full timeout was because of Wake having the first called timeout of the second half. So now we're at 11:22 to go. Carolina still 59-45 over Wake Forest from Learfield. 59-45 Carolina, 11:22 to go in the Smith Center. Tonight's broadcast presented in part by Allen Tate Realtors. Whether you're buying, selling, relocating, or seeking financing or insurance, Allen Tate can help. Allen Tate Realtors, the number one realtor in the Carolinas with more than 70 local offices and a proud partner of Carolina Athletics. And don't forget about Food Lion, proud to sponsor the Score to Give More program. For each free throw the Tar Heels make in today's game, Food Lion Feeds will donate 100 meals to a local area food bank. During that last sequence, we were kind of blocked off by Steve Forbes. Jae'Lyn Washington made a nice play defensively, actually blocked a shot from Wake that knocked the ball loose, and then Withers fighting for the loose ball was called for the travel, but it will belong to Wake Forest. So, Tyler, 59-45, 11:22 to go here in the second half.
Yeah, and also this is a tough challenge for Jae'Lyn Washington to guard a different position than he's used to guarding out on the perimeter. He's done a great job coming over, help side defense, blocking that shot, and I love the effort from Jae'Lyn Withers on that loose ball. Unfortunately, they called a walk.
Boopie Miller will inbound, gets it to Carr. Trimble there on the catch. Hands off to Salas. Trimble now switches on to him. Salas trying to drive right of the lane, spins by Trimble, and a foul called as I said spun by Trimble. It was really just kind of spun in front of Trimble because Seth stayed in front of him and then elevated to challenge the shot, and he swatted, trying to block the shot, swatted at it and hit Salas on the forearm. Second foul on Trimble, fifth on Carolina, and that'll put Salas to the line for two shots. Baycott's going to check in, presumably for Washington, after this first free throw goes up from Salas, and no good. Too strong. Salas was an 80% shooter coming into the game. He is now 2 of 5 at the stripe. Washington will sit down. Baycott comes in, so it's Davis, Trimble, Ryan, Withers, and Baycott, the 5 on the floor. Second one from Salas is good. He'll deny everybody the crumble cookie, and he'll get Wake Forest within 13. Some pressure now from the Deeks on the inbound, but Carolina gets it in quickly to R.J. Davis, and Wake will ease up. 11:05 to go. Carolina by 13, 59-46. Carolina trailed by 1 at half. Davis on the drive, takes hard contact at the rim. Rebound tipped out by Wake after Davis missed the shot. Efton Reed rotated over, bodied up Davis in the air. And then the rebound knocked out by another Deke. Davis with 26 points to lead the Carolina scoring. Reed does have 3 fouls for Wake Forest. Heels continue to try to take it at him.
He could have gotten called for his 4th right there, and that would have been big.
Inbounds goes to Ryan. Quick shot on the baseline is no good on the left side. Just kind of hung on that front iron and fell off. Wake with the defensive rebound. Boopie Miller the other direction. Miller running the point for the Deeks this possession as Cadeau comes to the scores table for Carolina. Salas around a screen, gets to the left elbow, angles into the paint. And we were shielded off again, but there is a whistle and a foul for somebody. It's on R.J. Davis. That's his second. And now 6 on Carolina this half, but more free throws. And again, it'll be Salas to the line for 2 shots. Salas, after having 11 points on 5 made field goals and a free throw in the first half. No field goals this half, but this will already be his 5th and 6th free throw attempt of the second half.
Yeah, we've done a great job on him in the second half, and you got to give Seth Trimble a lot of credit. Now, he doesn't have, the stat sheet to back it up. A lot of people won't recognize it looking at the box score, but he's had a huge impact. He's done a great job on Salas, in particular in the second half. But you can see that Salas is worn out from trying to work for all his shots. Even at the free throw line, this is uncharacteristic for him to miss like this.
Yeah, he just missed the first off the back iron. Cadeau and Ingram come in. Withers and Trimble go out for Carolina. So Salas makes the second. And it's 59-47. Again, pressure from Wake. They triple team R.J. Davis in the backcourt. That allows Cadeau to get the ball, push ahead. Right corner, Ingram, wide open 3, no good, but Baycott gets the offensive rebound. Heels will reset. 15 on the shot clock for Carolina. 59-47. Cadeau drives by Salas. Baycott dunked it as it was hanging on the rim, and it will be an offensive interference on Baycott. No basket. I'm not sure. Get a look at the replay here, whether or not that ball, I think it was going to crawl in, but that's a guess on the replay. Either way, no basket, and Wake has the ball. 59-47. Tar Heels by 12. Largest lead has been 14. Boop Miller Out on the wing on the right. Trying to draw a foul on Cadeau. Forces up a tough shot. No good. Ingram saves the rebound over the baseline to Cadeau. He'll loop a pass to Cormac Ryan. Comes front side on the right, and a foul on Hildreth, as Hildreth just couldn't get his feet moving fast enough to stay in front of Ryan as he pushed it ahead. You know, Boopy Miller does this a lot. If he can get his shoulder around his defender just a little bit, then he tries to slow up and almost have that defender run up his back. Nice job by Cadeau to avoid the contact on the shot.
He's a little jitterbug. He can turn it off and on, go from fast to slow, a lot of different paces at you. He's a tough one to guard.
There's a little jitterbug as well. R.J. Davis gets the inbounds and banks it in right side. R.J. up to 28. His career high is 30. 61-47. Davis has had 30 twice in his career. Last time was the Arkansas game in the Bahamas earlier this season. Boopy Miller, right corner, drives baseline.
Walk.
And he traveled as he tried to drive to the rim. 9:28 to go. I got shielded off by Coach Forbes. Tyler, what'd he do down there?
It looked like Booby just got into the lane. He thought he was going to be a little more open. There was help side. We came over in rotation, and he got, a little happy feet. Dragged his pivot foot. Easy call.
61-47, 9:22 to go. I can give you a good play-by-play of the back of Steve Forbes' black shirt when Wake has the ball. Cadeau on the right elbow for Carolina. Drives through, bounces out to Cormac Ryan. He penetrates, kicks it out to Ingram. Heels will reset, passing to R.J. Davis. 10 on the shot clock. Davis, who has 28. Crossover to get by Salas. Runner, 30 points for R.J.
I tell you what, RJ is feeling it, but also you got to give Armando credit. He is setting good screens, and he's giving RJ the space to get those shots.
Hildreth, pump fake down low. The ball takes a couple laps around the rim and eventually drops in for the Wake Forest veteran. He's up to 10. He becomes the second deke in double figures. Salas has 14. Carolina's led by 30 points for Davis. Cadeau, the only other Tar Heel in double figures, with 10. 63-49. Heels up 14. Largest lead has been 16. Davis, catch and shoot from the free throw line. No good. He ended up wiped out on the floor. Here comes Wake the other way. Long pitch ahead to Reed. Blocked by Armando Bacot from behind. Here comes Carolina. Cadeau running the break. Cadeau loops the pass left side to Cormac Ryan. Hard drive. Pivot. Fall away. Count it.
I tell you what, that is a tough shot. That turnaround inside the lane fader. Tough shot from Cormac, but also you got to give Armando credit. That block shot on the other end before the play was huge.
65-49. Charge on Hildreth on the other side as he runs over Cormac Ryan. Ryan is down and holding his ankle. The foul on Hildreth, his third, but the excitement for Carolina getting a stop has been muted due to Ryan in some pain holding that right ankle, which he has hurt a couple of times this year. The officials are going to go ahead and make this the under 8 timeout, as with 8:01 to go, Doug Halverson, the Tar Heel trainer, has come out. Ryan's going to untie his shoe to try and tighten it up a little bit. We've seen Ryan, remember, a couple times he missed the Arkansas game due to the when he rolled it against Villanova. He rolled it later in the year. He actually rolled it in an exhibition game. So that ankle's taking a beating this season. 8:01 to go. 65-49. Heels by 16, and with the ball, Ryan will walk off under his own power, but with a noticeable limp. Heels by 16. 8:01 to play from Learfield. Carolina will have the ball when action resumes. That foul again was called on Wake on Hildreth for the offensive foul, but when Hildreth pushed off on Ryan, his last step, he kind of stepped on the inner portion of Ryan's right ankle and almost forced Cormac, just with the force of his step, to roll the ankle. Ryan initially got up and was walking under his own power, then got a little help from Paxton Wojcik to get to the bench area in some obvious pain. Heels up 16, 65-49 with 8:01 to go. We're brought to you in part by Fairfield by Marriott, part of the Marriott Bonvoy portfolio of hotels and a proud partner of Carolina Athletics. Can I interest you in some R.J. Davis? 30 points on 12 of 20 shooting, 2 of 5 from 3, 4 of 5 at the free throw line, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, no turnovers for Davis in this one. The only other Tar Heel in double figures is Cadeau. He has 10. It's the 4th time this year Cadeau's been in double figures. For R.J. Davis, the 18th time this season, the 12th time he's gone for 20 or more, and the second time that he's had 30 or more. Again, he has tied his career high with 30. Full court pressure from Wake. Really, they're just trying to deny Davis the ball as Carolina gets it inbounds to Cadeau. So it's Withers who checked in for Ryan. So Cadeau, Davis, Withers, Ingram, and Baycott. Carolina by 16 as Cadeau, wide open lane, right of the lane, and scoops it in. Look, Carolina's found something that Wake is struggling with on the perimeter. So many times they've had open lanes to the rim.
Absolutely, and Cadeau's done a really good job tonight of taking advantage of getting inside the lane and getting those easy buckets. That's where a majority of his points have come from.
Yeah, he now has 12. 15 is his freshman season high. Wake gets it down low to Carr. Faces up against Withers, trying to back in on him, left of the lane. Carr, slow step through, pivots. Nice move by the veteran to score. Carr now in double figures for the 15th time this year with 10 points. Ingram's going to try and back in against Hildreth the other way. Spins baseline, his right-handed hook shot's good.
That was a great move. Sometimes I'm amazed by how good Ingram's post moves are. He's one of our better ISO post guys on the team.
Cormac Ryan comes to the scorers table for Carolina, so feels like that ankle is well enough to get back in the ballgame. Hildreth on the perimeter for Wake Forest. Passes over to the freshman Fredrickson, who's in, guarded by a fellow rookie Cadeau. Fredrickson tries to drive right baseline, cut off. His pass out to Salas, almost taken away by Davis. Back to Salas with 5 on the shot clock. Salas through traffic, left side. Boy, nice move as he scooped it against the challenge of Baycott for his first bucket of the second half. 69-53, Heels by 16. With 6:25 to go. Largest lead has been 18, which has been a couple times, including right before that Salas bucket. Ingram drives left of the lane, stops. Now he's going back in against Hildreth. Just works right around him for the easy hook. Ingram, no trouble.
That was a great shot. Just navigating, getting inside the lane where he wanted it, went to that right-hand hook close to the charge circle. Good move from Ingram.
Yeah, he likes that shot. 6 points this half, 8 for the game, along with 11 rebounds for Harrison Ingram. Carr on the perimeter, hands off to Salas. Right back to Carr, faces up well out on the left. Checked by Withers, drives by him, blocked at the rim by Baycott. Ball knocked out by Armando. Baycott comes into this game 5th in the ACC in block shots per contest at just under 2. That's 4 blocks for Baycott tonight. And 4.3 on the shot clock for Wake Forest. Ryan does return, and Withers sits down. Wake's going to get a clean look at 3 on the inbounds, but it is short in the corner from Fredrickson. Thought that one was going in. Such a good shooter, but Carolina able to get the miss and now get the basketball. Cadeau drives right by Fredrickson, puts it up, no good, but Baycott uncontested for the tip in.
You could see that Reed guarding Baycott. He had to go over and help on Cadeau, which opened up Armando for that easy putback.
This lead is now 20 for Carolina. Reed gets by Baycott after receiving the entry pass, and a foul is called on Baycott. Roger Ayers did not like something that was said on the Wake bench as he just stared down the assistants for Wake Forest, and that was with a foul called on Baycott on the play. That's the first foul on Baycott, and 7th foul on Carolina. So 1-1 for Efton Reed, who is an excellent free throw shooter, particularly as a 7-footer. He is an 87% shooter, 20 of 23 on the season. This will be his first attempt tonight. Carolina by 20, 73-53. This was a 1-point game at halftime as Reed hits the free throw. Wake led 34-33 at halftime. With that made free throw by Reed, it's now 40-20 in the second half. Carolina outscoring the Deacs. Big deep breath from the 7-footer. Ingram was in the lane early. It doesn't matter as the free throw goes in. So it's 73-55. Wake again will pick up with full court pressure. Ryan gets it into R.J. Davis. Davis ready to run as he sprints up left side. Now he'll slow it up, crossing the timeline. Heels up 18 with 5:12 to go. Want to start maybe burning a little bit of clock and also still getting smart shots. Cadeau will have it. Still 14 on the shot clock. Cadeau taking a peek. He's guarded by Fredrickson. I think Carolina likes that matchup. Cadeau will get a screen. He'll just pull up for the long two. Boy, he hit nothing but the backboard. Pulled up from about 18 feet, and that shot was not close. Baycott tips away a pass that was going to Monsanto. But Monsanto chases it down, pulls up for a really long three. The ball, no good. It bounced around. Looked like a deke may have touched it on the rim.
Yeah, Reed touched that. It almost looked like it could have been called offensive goaltending, but this is a point in the game where you could start to see Wake try to mix it up a little bit to try to get back into this ball game, especially when the time's running out.
Salas tried to steal it from Davis, couldn't do it. And again, Heels are going to isolate Cadeau against Fredrickson. Cadeau flips it to Baycott, now to Ingram. Wide open look at three, and he's fouled as Carr, trying to recover, closes out and hits Ingram. Ingram is staying on the floor. Now he's going to get helped up. I think he's okay.
They're questioning whether it's a three-point shot or not, but also it's a point of emphasis. You got to give the shooter room to land. You saw that they called it in the first half on us. Now you just saw Ingram get that call.
Let's see if Ingram can find his groove at the line. He has 3 of his last 13 at the stripe, but that one is nothing but net.
It's just a matter of time. He's too good of a shooter. He has too good of touch, not to be shooting well from the free throw line. It's going to come.
Second one up and good as well. So he's now in double figures and has a double-double. Second straight game with a double-double. 5th time this year, 10th in his career. He's at 10 points and 13 boards. Ingram is averaging. There's a lane violation on Baycott. I was about to tell you, all 3 free throws went in. So that won't count as a miss. It'll just be a no shot for Ingram. I was going to tell you, Ingram came into this game averaging nearly 10 rebounds per contest in the last 7, and he'll improve that average with 13 tonight. 4:12 to go, Tyler, at 75-55.
He's been so crucial for this team. I mean, we've struggled sometimes at rebounding, and he's provided a huge lift outside of Armando.
Hey, another foul called on Carolina. It was on Baycott, I believe, challenging the mid-range jumper by Salas. R.J. Davis ended up on the deck, stayed down for an extra minute. He's okay. Second foul on Baycott, 8th on Carolina. Salas to the line for 2 shots. 75-55, Heels by 20 with 4:06 to go. R.J. Davis, 30 points, including 17 in the half. If he gets one more point, he'll have a career high. Free throw from Salas is good. By the way, who has been in this company here recently with this many 30-point games? His 3rd time in RJ's career with 30 or more. Luke May had 5 in his Tar Heel career. Kobe White had 3 in the one season that he played. He was pretty good.
Yeah.
75-56 and 75-57. Salas, after some struggles at the line, has now made 3 in a row. And Carolina's lead is 18, 75-57 again. 4:02 to go as R.J. Davis takes a look at Hubert Davis as he jogs front side. Again, he'll stop as soon as he crosses the timeline. Heels finding that balance of milking clock and trying to still get good shots. Salas guarding Davis, who's still dribbling out in the center jump circle area. Shot clock's down to 8. Baycott comes to set a high screen. Davis wraps around it. He's going to try a step-back 3. No good. Ingram tips the rebound once, twice. The rebound knocked out of bounds by Wake Forest, according to Ron Groover, as Ingram and Boopy Miller were battling for the loose ball. So the Heels will get the ball when we come back. 3:37 to play. Carolina 75-57 over Wake Forest, which, by the way, that means Carolina has now led every ACC game by 10 or more points. They have won 6 of their 7 ACC games by 10 or more points to this point. Right now up 18 with 3:37 to go from Learfield. So this game was tied at 41. Wake led by a point at halftime. This game was tied at 41. A couple minutes into the second half. Since then, Carolina has outscored Wake Forest 34-16. Heels are shooting 59% this half, 16 of 27, 3 of 5 from 3, 7 of 9 at the line. Wake, meanwhile, is 7 of 25 this half, 0 of 6 from 3, 9 of 12 from the free throw line. So that's more free throws made than field goals made this half for Wake Forest. The Deeks in total shooting 37% from the floor, 3 of 17 from 3, 14 of 19 at the line. So some really quality Lenovo stats there. Quick reminder that we're back at Top of the Hill for Hubert Davis Live on Wednesday this week. with the Monday night game. And for 25 years, more than 25 years, Top of the Hill Restaurant and Brewery has been a pre- and post-game tradition in Chapel Hill. Handcrafted beer, great food and atmosphere where Tar Heels come to celebrate. Timeouts, Heels have 3, Wake has 1. Fouls, 9 called on Carolina. I may have said 8 earlier. It's 9. 7 whistled on Wake. The possession arrow belongs to the Deeks. So, Jones Angell, Tyler Hansbrough here with you courtside in the Smith Center. Carolina's led by as many as 20, breaking open a close game. They're up 18 with 3:30 to go. And there's a foul off the ball. It's going to be called on Carolina. It's on Ingram for setting an illegal screen. So 10th on Carolina. No free throws this time for Wake, with it being the offensive foul, but the Deeks will be in the double bonus the rest of the way.
And we talked about it before the game. It's such a big part of Wake Forest's game is their free throws. They shoot a great percentage. They get to the line as much as any team in the ACC.
Boopie Miller jump stop right of the lane, challenged by Cormac Ryan, and then a foul as Boopie Miller missed the shot. Then the loose ball. Miller accidentally clips Ryan in the nose-mouth area. Foul on Miller, just his first. 8th on Wake, so it'll be a 1-and-1 for Cormac Ryan, who, along with several other Tar Heels, going to probably look like prize fighters coming out of this one. We've seen Ingram on the floor, Ryan on the floor, R.J. Davis down for a moment, and it's going to be Ryan to the stripe for a 1-and-1 with Carolina leading by 18, 75-57.
It's been a battle tonight, but also, it's a big part of our game as well, making these free throws. And Cormac is one of the best free throw shooters in the ACC as well.
Carolina shot more free throws than any team in the ACC. They are up there and near the top of the nation as well. And we mentioned they are tied for 6th in the country as far as free throws made per game. And Ryan adds 2 more to that make total right there. So the Heels now 16 of 21 in the ball game from the stripe, including 9 of 11 this half. And it's back to a 20-point game, 77-57 with 3:03 to go. Monsanto's been quiet this half after making a couple threes in the first. He must have heard me because he pulls up for a triple. Missed it. Bacot and Ryan knock each other off the rebound, and it rolls to Carr for the easy putback. 2 Tar Heels going for it and just knocked each other away from it. 77-59. Carolina will, again, slow things up. Cadeau, who's in double figures today with 12. 3 off his freshman high. Almost had it tipped away by Boopie Miller. Recovers. Sends it out to R.J. Davis. Davis against Salas. Will pull up for 3. Career high for R.J. Davis. Swishes it home. He has 33.
Not an easy shot either. That was an ISO juke drive and then a nice little crossover. Tough shot from R.J.
80-59. Carolina and Wake Forest. This game has been blown open as a foul called on Bacon. Bacon and Efton Reed were just sitting there. It's like doing the old Oklahoma drill in football, just lowering their shoulders into one another. And then when Reed shot it, Ron Groover out near the timeline calls the foul on Bacot for his 3rd, and that'll put Reed to the line for 2 shots. So R.J. Davis, a career-high 33 points. R.J. in the Smith Center last year against Wake had 27. So he has enjoyed playing against the Deeks in Chapel Hill for sure. First free throw by Reed. Told you he's a great free throw shooter, especially for his size, and he strips the net. 80-60 the score with 2:11 to go. Davis 13 of 22, 3 of 7 from 3, 4 of 5 from the free throw line. Tyler said it in the pregame. There's a lot of great players in this league as Reed makes both free throws. If you voted right now, R.J. Davis would have to be the ACC Player of the Year. As the inbounds from Ryan, a little dangerous. Cadeau comes down with it. He wanted to attack 3-on-2. Hubert Davis said, let's chill it out, up by 19 with a little more than 2 minutes, and now 2 minutes right now to go.
Yeah, also, I think RJ has a unique ability to create his own shot. He's one of the few players in college basketball where you could give him the ball at the top of the key and say, get an open look. His crossover and shooting just gives him, he's a tough player.
Cadeau, as he's done so many times, a great run to the rim, but this one rolls off on the layup attempt. A rare miss for him. Boopie Miller's going to get a wide-open look in transition. No good from 3. Wake has not made a 3 this half as the Heels push it ahead to Cadeau for the finger roll. He's got a little shy smile looking at the bench as they razzed him since he didn't dunk it. He does have 14 now, just 1 off his freshman season high. Boopie Miller out to Monsanto. You know he's going to shoot it, and his 3 is short. Cadeau with a rebound. Tar Heels with 1:15 to go.
I tell you what, Monsanto, he's going to get him up. He's going to get his shot attempts.
Cadeau just crosses the timeline before the 10-second violation. 1:05 to play. Tar Heel fans on their feet, and why not? Wake Forest came in looking for a big win, led by 1 at halftime, and they have been absolutely outclassed in the second half by R.J. Davis and the Heels. Long triple for R.J. Why not? One more.
I tell you what, RJ is feeling it. He's been so big for this team. He is the reason why we started the second half like this.
Foul on the other side on Baycott to stop the clock with 44.6. RJ Davis is up to 36 points. He has got 23 in the second half.
He's had an incredible half. And also, you got to give him credit. He has made a lot of tough physical shots. And to start the game, his outside shot wasn't really there. He found a way to get the ball inside, finish through contact, and then it was just a matter of time before he got it going from the three-point line, really opened up his game. There's a lot of game left. He could go to the free throw line. He's one of those guys that you want to have the ball if Wake Forest starts fouling, and he's almost automatic.
Trimble's going to get R.J. Davis, and he will get a huge round of applause. Wojcik will check in as well for Cormac Ryan. A career-high 36 points for R.J. Davis. Gets a big hug from Hubert Davis as he comes to the bench. 85-62 Carolina. Carr made the first free throw and the second on that trip for the Wake big man. So 5 on the floor is Cadeau, Trimble, Wojcik, Withers, and Washington. Heels cannot run out the clock. They will have to shoot it or hold for the shot clock violation here as they try to burn the final couple seconds off the clock. Last Tar Heel with 35 or more as Cadeau is fouled on the drive by Boopy Miller. That is the second on Miller, 9th on Wake, so Cadeau to the line. Last Tar Heel with 35 or more in a game was Garrison Brooks. He scored exactly 35 against Georgia Tech on January 4th of 2020. So the last person with more than 35. So Brooks right at 35 as Ingram out, Withers in. Bryce Johnson had 39 at Florida State. That was that game where both he and Marcus Page both scored over 30 that night. Johnson had 39 on January 4th, 2016. Cadeau misses the free throw. Run out the other way. Trimble, for some reason, reaches in and fouls Boopy Miller. So the foul on Trimble is third. Will give Miller a couple of free throws with 20 seconds to go. Score at 85-63. Tar Heels on top.
Yeah, Trimble was caught back. He was catching up to him. He wasn't really sure if he should give him layup or contest him, and he was just a little confused right there. Reached in.
Yeah, no, I'm not sure that was needed, but Boopy Miller will happily go and try to increase his scoring total, which he does, which, by the way, I hadn't talked much about it. Boopy Miller was Wake's second leading scorer, came in top 10 in the league, averaging better than 17 points. He has 5 points with that made free throw. Just a field goal in the first half and now a field goal and a free throw here in the second. Tar Heels, as they've done most of this year, as the second free throw spins out, they have done a really nice job defensively in this game. And that defense in the second half, holding Wake to just 26.5% from the floor. You mix in that defense with R.J. Davis having a career night. 36 points for Davis, 23 of them coming after halftime. The Tar Heel team defense with Davis's incredible offense adds up to a 21-point win over a good Wake Forest team in the Smith Center tonight. 85-64 the final. The two teams shake hands in front of us. Carolina now 16-3 overall, 8-0 in conference action. They have won 7 of the 8 games in the league by 10 or more points. And the Tar Heels continue this run in late December and now through January of quality play. That's 9 consecutive wins for the Heels. Again, they're 16-3, 8-0 in the league. Wake falls to 13-6, 5-3 in ACC action. All right, you know we got a lot to do. Coke post-game report. Dave will get you up to date on scores. Not a ton of games going on, but Wes Miller and Cincinnati playing tonight. We'll get you up to date on that game and more. Get Tyler's thoughts on this one. I'll talk to Coach Davis. I have a sneaky suspicion we'll talk to R.J. Davis after he pours in 36 points. Heels win it big over Wake, 85-64 from Learfield. We're back. Time for another edition of the Carolina Insider Rapid Reactions Edition following Carolina's 85-64 home victory against Wake Forest on Monday night in the Smith Center. Our Rapid Reaction video pods, as always, brought to you by Modelo, an official beer of the Tar Heels. Thank you, Modelo. And, Adam, this was a game of two halves. The first half, very competitive, very physical, little chippy, and Wake leads 34-33 at halftime. And then the second half, just a completely different story. Carolina outclassed the Deacs in the second half, whether it was the Tar Heels defensively holding Wake in the second half to 8 of 30 from the field. That's 26.5%. 0 of 9 from three-point range in the second half. Or whether it was R.J. Davis just lighting absolute fire offensively. He had 36 points for the game, a career high, most by a Tar Heel in the Smith Center since Tyler Hansbrough had 39 against Clemson in 2008. Most for a Tar Heel period since Bryce Johnson had 39 against Florida State and Tallahassee in 2016. 23 of those 36 points came in the second half for R.J. Davis. He was terrific. The Tar Heels were terrific in that second 20 minutes, and they blew out a good Wake Forest team pretty convincingly on Monday night.
Just totally changed the tempo of the game, which had been so slow in the first half and looked like Wake Forest was content to kind of stand around. And then Elliot Cadeau and R.J. Davis just decided that's not happening in the second half. Got to the rim consistently. R.J. Davis made almost everything. Tar Heels defended really well. Felt like Carolina, being a veteran team, enabled them to not really get shook by that ugly first half and just come out and play the way they were capable of playing in the second half, and that led to a 21-point win.
Yeah, it was not as dramatic as the example I'm about to give you. We just mentioned Bryce Johnson scoring 39 in that game at Florida State. Everybody forgets Marcus Page had 30 in that game as well. Elliot Cadeau had 14 points, 3 assists, 3 rebounds, just 1 turnover, and Harrison Ingram had a double-double, 10 points, 14 rebounds. Both of those kind of get lost because of how good R.J. Davis was, and he was great, and you're going to hear and see an interview Adam had with R.J. after the game in just a moment. I talked to Coach Davis as well. You'll get a chance to see that. Cadeau, though, and not to slight Ingram, felt like Cadeau was a big part of this victory as well.
Again, it feels like he had more assists than he did. He had 3, which is fine, and only 1 turnover. But he changes the tempo of the game in a way that it seems like flusters the other team because they're not capable of playing that way. But the Tar Heels have figured out how to run with him. They're looking ahead, hitting ahead in ways that they weren't even earlier this season, to say nothing of previous seasons. It's just changed the entire tempo of the way Carolina plays, and it's all due to the way he distributes the ball and gets the ball down the court.
Davis and Cadeau combined for 50 points and have 5 assists and 1 turnover from your starting backcourt. Pretty good, and that's not even saying anything about Trimble and Ryan, who also had good games, and I talked to Coach Davis about that, in fact. So why don't we get to that conversation? I chatted with Coach Davis. Adam sat down with R.J. Davis. We wouldn't let Adam touch R.J. We didn't want him to get burned. See, Adam, that's how hot he was. So you'll get to see both those interviews. Come back. We'll chat a little more after you hear from those two gentlemen. Carolina wins 85-64. Let's get to the interviews here on the Carolina Insider. Yeah, thank you, Dave. Coach Davis just walked in, so he's taking a look at the final box score, and the name you need to look at there, Coach, is R.J. Davis. He ended up, of course, with a career-high 36 as Carolina runs away from Wake in the second half. Outscored the Deacs 52-30 in the second half and win at 85-64. Coach and I are inside the Continental Tire Coach's Corner. Coach, let's start with R.J. Just an incredible performance from him as he sets his career high with 36 points.
Yeah, he was amazing. He's just such a gifted player, and he's been great throughout his whole career, but I feel like now he's being celebrated, supported, encouraged, noticed. He's for the type of player he's been throughout his career, and he's just in a great rhythm. I mean, from a scoring standpoint, you know, he can score at the basket, mid-range, threes, free throws, plays great defense, had no turnovers tonight, plays big minutes, and this is the first time that I've ever seen this as a player and as a coach where the crowd was chanting a player's name. I don't know while I was gone had that happened, but for me being here, I've never heard that before. And to have the ovation and have people chanting RJ's name, that's the first I've ever seen in the Smith Center, and it's for the perfect and right person.
Coach, it felt like obviously RJ was the headliner, but your backcourt in total was very good tonight. Elliot Cadeau adds 14 points, 3 assists, 1 turnover. Seth Trimble came in and played terrific defense. Cormac Ryan with his normal solid game. It felt like your backcourt was the difference this evening.
Well, I felt like our backcourt was really good. Wake's backcourt is really good, so our backcourt needed to be good. But I really felt like in the first half, offensively, I felt like we were getting the shots that we wanted. We just weren't making them. And then defensively, I felt like our mistakes allowed them and put them in situations to score. In the second half, we stepped it up defensively. I mean, I think we held them to 26% from the field in the second half. Like, that's what I keep telling the guys. If we defend, we rebound, take care of the basketball, that puts us in a really good position, and that bleeds to the offensive end. And then we started getting out in transition, attacking the basket, and then RJ, and then that big three by Cormac. It was really good.
I was going to mention the transition. Felt like the pace of the game picked up substantially in the second half.
Yeah.
Your team finishes with 15 fast break points to just 1 for Wake Forest.
Yeah, I felt like we could get out in transition, but we needed to get stops. In the first half, we didn't get enough stops, especially when we went up 8. From that point on, from a defensive standpoint, I just didn't think we were tied together. And then in the second half, it was real. I mean, we were getting stops and getting out on a break. All 5 guys were running, pushing the ball, and we were getting anything at the rim or wide open threes in transition, and also getting fouled and getting to the free throw line.
You've talked about rebounding a bunch, 43-30. Your team out-rebounded. I think that's 8 in a row now that your team has out-rebounded the opponent.
Yeah, I think it's 9. I think it's 9 games in a row where we have out-rebounded our opponent, and, but this team has made a commitment to defense, and it's made a commitment to boxing out and rebounding. And, when you do those things and you take care of the basketball, it doesn't matter whoever you play, you're going to put yourself in a position to be successful, and that's what these guys are consistently doing.
Last thing, Coach, you had the quick turnaround Saturday to Monday. Now you don't play again until Saturday. How do you manage the next couple days with your guys?
Take a deep breath. It's an honor and a privilege, but it's also hard. We played at 2:30 on Saturday and then get back till 10 one day to prep for an outstanding Wake Forest team that was playing with tremendous confidence. And, they had class today. So we had to have shoot around early in the morning. So guys had to go to class in the afternoon. And then we have pregame meal. Then we have a game at 7. And so the next tomorrow is a day off, and they need it, a time away just to catch their breath and relax and get ready for against Florida State on Saturday.
Carolina stays undefeated, guys, in the ACC, still atop of the conference, now 8-0 in conference play. Coach, congratulations on the great game tonight, and look forward to talking with you soon.
All right, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
That's Hubert Davis, guys, Continental Tire, Coach's Corner.
Alongside, who else? RJ Davis, after he puts up 36 at the Smith Center in Carolina, beats Wake Forest. RJ, career high, 36. Just take us through that performance. What'd you do well other than everything?
I think I was just, locked in from the start of the game from a mental standpoint, and just, kind of establishing my presence early from start to finish. And, I did a good job of reading the defense really well. And, they were in a drop coverage, so I was able to, kind of get to my spots a little bit, whether it was a floater, pull up, or finish at the rim. And then kind of things got up, I kind of got hot in the second half from 3, and kind of just continued to be aggressive and not to keep my foot off the gas, and to continue being RJ. And that's what I did today. And a lot of credit to my teammates. They were, finding me and, kept telling me to shoot the ball. So I'm just overall happy for the success of the team and then for me individually.
Wake Forest had a 1-point lead at halftime. How were you able to change the tempo in the second half, and you and Elliot have so much success getting to the rim?
Yeah, I think we we did a poor job in the first half of, kind of guarding their actions, and they got to the point where it was just one-on-one. It was about guarding your matchup, and we took pride in that. We made a stance in the second half, and we was able to get stops and then convert on the offensive end. Elliot did a good job of, getting downhill, finish through contact. Harrison, his mush move, Cormac's knocking down threes, Mono being a big-time presence in the paint on both sides of the floor. So we got a lot of, and then a lot of the bench guys, Jay Witt, Pax, Seth. So it was just like a whole different team, different dynamics of, whatever we put out there is going to, have 100% effort and energy. So, and we was able just to, play our brand of basketball going into the second half and come out with the win in double digits.
As you said, when you caught fire in the second half, there was one play with about 9 minutes left where you crossed over Silas twice, and it just looked like you could do whatever you wanted to do. When that's happening, what does it feel like to be able to do that with the ball in your hands?
It feels like you're in your backyard. You're just out there just trying things out, and that's when you're just in that zone. And I think a lot of hoopers know, like, when you're in that zone, it's hard to come out of it. It kind of just I felt comfortable, I felt confident. And just to my ability, just to kind of like you talk about the crossover and just get to my spot. And I really wanted to shoot the three, but I know the coaches probably got mad if I shot the three, so I was able to get the floater. But I was just locked into I was locked in the zone, and I just caught fire and didn't look back.
Did I see you sneaking a peek at your highlights up there at the video board during one timeout?
A little bit low key.
Well, you can't help but watch, right?
Yeah, I mean, I was caught by surprise of how I was out there just hooping.
This team's beaten opponents by a lot, doing some things that haven't been done around here since some really good teams, 09, 93, in terms of getting double-figure wins. Why is this team not just winning, but winning impressively?
We're all bought in, and each and every 14 of the guys in the locker room are bought into winning, and it doesn't matter who's, the player of the game or who's, has the most points or whatever the case may be. We all just want to win, and that's why we're winning by the double digits we are. And we're sharing the basketball really well. We're resilient. We're confident. We're aggressive and a grit team that's that's gonna be hard to beat. And with this chemistry, I know a lot of people talk about the chemistry, but the chemistry is real. Like, I don't think you can find a brand of guys or a group of guys that just enjoy being around with each other and just overall just love coming out in the Dean Smith Center and playing basketball. So every night. So credit to this team, credit to the coaching staff.
Fun to play and fun to watch. Carolina wins again, as RJ said, at the Dean Smith Center. RJ 36. RJ, thanks so much.
Yes, sir.
So again, 85-64 the final score. Just a little deeper in the box score here. Carolina outscores Wake in the paint 48-30. A lot of those were drives by guards, not necessarily Bacot posting up and scoring. Armando Bacot only had 5 points in this game. Now, Harrison Ingram did some posting up and scoring, but still a lot of those points in the paint were either on fast breaks or with guards driving to the rim. Speaking of fast break points, 15-1, Carolina with the advantage. I think it was 2-0 in fast break points at halftime. It may have been 0-0, and Carolina just had 2 early fast break points. There were not many, to Adam's point earlier, fast break points in the first half. Second half, the pace of the game noticeably picked up, and Carolina thrived running past Wake Forest 85-64. So, Adam, kind of bigger picture here. Tar Heels now don't play again until Saturday at Florida State. Tough road trip. Then they go to Georgia Tech, another difficult road trip. Then they have Duke at home. Then Clemson at home. Then they go to Miami. I mean, this is a difficult stretch. Carolina gets a day or two, you heard Coach Davis mention it a moment ago, to catch their breath a little bit and then get right back at it.
I thought that was interesting that he said that, because a lot of times coaches will say, oh, we're not going to let out. We're playing well, and we're going to go out there. We're going to get even better. And I think he's got the right read on his team that they could use a day or two maybe to kind of catch their breath and think about what they've done well and think about areas that they can get better, because there are some areas that they can still get better. Although, I mean, there's absolutely no question that through almost half of the ACC season, they have been the most dominant team in the league. I mean, they're doing things that other teams aren't doing. So that is encouraging. But also, they haven't played some teams yet who I think are in that top tier of the league, and there's some things that the Tar Heels can continue to get even better at.
Yeah, Carolina 8-0 in conference play atop the ACC. They have led by double figures at some point in all 8 of those games. They have won 7 of those games by 10 or more points. The only one they didn't was Florida State, and they won that one by 8. So Yeah, Carolina's winning and winning convincingly at home, on the road. They've played very well in conference action for sure, and they'll be back at it Saturday against Florida State. Next Rapid Reactions won't be until 2 Saturdays from now after Carolina hosts Duke in the first of the 2 rivalry matchups with the Blue Devils. But for now, happy day in the Smith Center. Career night for R.J. Davis. He pours in 36 points, and the Tar Heels beat Wake Forest 85-64. That is Carolina's 9th consecutive win this season, 9th consecutive win in Chapel Hill over Wake Forest as well. Heels win by 21. Thanks for joining us on the Carolina Insider Rapid Reactions edition presented by Modelo.